Yo, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing some more of the Umineko playthrough. And yeah, it's going to be really quite interesting today because we are probably just, well, we're jumping straight in really. We're just jumping into the proper logic battle that, you know, obviously chapter 3 is actually beginning to present. And yeah, we were in the middle of last time where, you know, Beatrice was just totally trying to disprove. Well, it was Lonove who started to disprove Basile's Devil's Proof move by using the paradox, the Hempel's Raven or something like that. I forgot what the exact name was, but it's something that sounds like that. And yeah, it's going to be quite interesting just to see, you know, everything that's going to happen in general, how it's going to be disproved, how this logic is actually going to be used, and also what Beatrice is actually going to do with Basile. I really do wonder what's actually going to happen in their game. And yeah, as well, what happens in the epitaph related things. I wonder if we're going to start seeing what actually happens when, I don't know, I'm assuming that people are going to go exploring for the epitaph. I mean, it would be reasonable, but I don't know. Maybe they'll reconsider at the fact that, you know, they don't want to give the headship away to Beatrice, but I think that's very unlikely. Like, the only reason that would actually happen is if Natsuhi won in some sort of argument, but yeah, that's never going to happen, let's be honest. She's never going to win in anything if Kraus is there. When a Devil's Proof exists in the world... Oh, let's just get a little bit more context. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. When the Devil's Proof exists in this world. Oh yeah, fair. Yeah. When the Devil's Proof exists in this world, it takes a vast amount of effort to argue against it, and there are many cases in which it is impossible to do so because of the situation. Yeah, I can see that. However, Hempel's Raven turns that problem around and makes it possible to prove things easily. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. I mean... Yeah, fair, actually. You can't argue with it because there is no way of proving whether your argument is correct or not. You can just always use that excuse. And it may be impossible to do so. I see that. Yeah, I suppose so. That is interesting. By using Hempel's Raven, various reckless arguments become possible to prove true or false. For example, let us say I make the proposition that all humans except me equals foolish. I like that. He's a human? What? There's no way. He was a demon last time I heard. Or is that just an example? Yeah, I suppose you can easily prove whether that's true or false. Yeah, normally I would have to examine all of humanity except myself and show that they are foolish. Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. However, in reality, it would be impossible to investigate billions of people. Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's just the same sort of effort you need to open 18 boxes. So it would be an impossibility. However, by using Hempel's Raven, the contrapositive of that proposition would change it into this. Yeah. If you, to use your phrase, spin the chessboard around on the claim that all humans except me equals foolish. You would have to do nothing more than prove that not foolish equals me. What do you think that means? As soon as I know the fact that I am wise. Yeah, that is interesting. I'll be able to show in an instant that every one of the billions of people in the human race is foolish. Oh my god, what? God damn, in less than a second I could finish proving that the entire human race is more foolish than me. Oh my god, her expression. It truly is the... Yeah, the strongest and fastest QED in the world. This. Symbols Raven. What is a QED? I've never actually heard of this before. Quantum... Oh, yeah, that's more reasonable. That which was to be demonstrated. Oh. Oh, so it's just a really quick way of demonstrating a truth, I suppose. It would be impossible to examine all of humanity. I mean, that would be absurd. Just like how Battler examining all 18 would be absurd. Well, that is interesting. So, oh yeah, I understand this now. So if you're saying everyone apart from you is stupid, you don't actually have to prove that everyone apart from you is stupid. You have to prove that you are not stupid so that everybody with the contrapositive can oppose you validly. But at the same time, there's so many flaws in that logic. If you ask me, though. Yeah, that is actually really quite interesting. So if you prove the fact that you're wise, you don't even have to... Well, it's really quite interesting. So how would this counteract the Devil's Proof? So the Devil's Proof is where you can't prove anything no matter what. No matter what you say, really. There's no proof that it is the case, no proof that it isn't the case. So I suppose saying this is actually really quite beneficial because you know that something is the case definitively, so you can therefore rule out anything that isn't the case. So I suppose to apply it to this, Beatrice could say that she knows she isn't actually the culprit, and then she could apply it, and then contrapositive just automatically states that it must be one of the 18, and then Battler's logic is flawed because of Beatrice's contrapositive, which she can validly use as well. Because it wasn't her who actually did it. Oh my god, I know! I know! It really is. What a ridiculous argument. I see that, yeah, it's a very, very convenient move. God. There are gods here? Not only demons, but gods also use it. Well, they propose that the blessed equals the servants of a god. The contrapositive is a human is not a servant of a god means he must not be blessed. So in order to prove that servants of gods are blessed with divine protection... That's interesting. They only have to bring ill fortune down upon those who don't actually receive such protection. Yeah, that does make sense, actually. Yeah. The blessed equals the servants of a god. Yeah, fair enough. They don't actually have to... Yeah, so because of the fact that people have had misfortune that has constantly rained down on them, they would use the contrapositive to prove that, you know, it can't be anything but good fortune for other people, really. I see that. So by bringing misfortune down upon those who don't believe in them... Yeah, they prove their blessedness. Yeah, I see that. I mean, that does make sense, actually. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, an enormous cost is required to give humans happiness. Oh my god, I know. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. However, it takes a lot less to bring humans to misfortune. It's so much easier. Oh god. Yeah, it's just really quite interesting. I bet you she's going to use all of this logic to totally... give misfortune. Yeah, definitely, yeah. So by using Hempel's Raven, gods are actually giving believers the joy of divine protection for cheap. Yeah, it is actually really quite interesting because gods don't have to necessarily protect somebody whatsoever. It's just really interesting that you can use this without even realising that you're using it. Fair enough, you demon. That's interesting. So demon is the same word for devil in Japanese. I didn't realise that. It's a demon's argument. Oh my god, yeah, understandable. Yeah. It's just really quite funny to think that, I don't know, I wonder if you could link this to some sort of more real world examples, like ones that actually are in everyday life. I don't know, Oh, I've got a really good example. If you don't like one person in a friend group, then you use that to... No, actually. Yeah, you could in theory use this. So you don't like one person in a friend group, therefore you subconsciously use Temple's Raven to prove that all of the other people in the friend group must not be as nice. No, but at the same time, Temple's Raven is used for contradicting stuff. If there's one person in an environment... You're told an environment is really nice, and then you find one person who's a dickhead, and then you use contrapositive to prove that everyone else is nice and that one person is a dickhead. So you don't know if the environment is actually nice, you just know the... Well, I suppose... Yeah, because you're told the environment's nice, but then you're receiving a really bad taste of the environment, but then you use contrapositive to prove that it's... That bad taste you've received is only one part of the environment. But at the same time, by doing that, you completely shadow the truth. Yeah, same for me. Beatrice is reading my mind, confirmed. It's a bit scary. It seems we've gone off topic. Yeah, I wonder, let us get back to the point. The move for my counter-attack is complete.
19人目が犯人だから18人は無実で魔女も存在しないへの反撃は
And now, in response to your reclaim of the 19th person as the culprit, therefore the 18th are innocent and the witch doesn't exist.
ならば19人目が犯人でないことを証明できたら
I say, therefore, if I can prove that the culprit is not some 19th person...
18人か魔女のどちらかが犯人ということで確定するぞ
Yeah, definitely. I mean... Yeah, that is understandable.
との確認だ
Right? For a while, I just stood there, shocked. Oh my god, completely forgetting to close my mouth. Yeah, because obviously this completely disproves any single piece of logic he actually had beforehand. Just when I thought I'd countered one of their strong points. Oh no, you can never, ever... Yeah, their counterattack had been this reckless argument that I couldn't possibly have anticipated. Oh, I see that. I mean, it is tricky. It really, really is. Oh my god, I'm just going to fix this because it's so rude. Right, there we are. Yeah, that is actually really quite interesting, that. So you could prove that the culprit isn't the 19th person, and then you can also prove the fact. But you could also prove that it could potentially be one of... You could prove the fact that it's the 19th person, and then you could make it so that it's in the 18th. Or you could prove that it's not a 19th person, which would eliminate the possibility of it being the 19th person. You go to the possibility it's the 18 people. You know it's not the 18th people, so then you go back and you don't know where to go. And that then leaves you at a dead end if you don't actually believe in the witch. Makes sense. Yeah, fair. Just when I thought I countered one of their strong points, their counterattack had been this reckless argument that I couldn't have possibly anticipated. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I see that. Is this going to be impossible after all? To continue denying the witch on an island with no more than 18... Oh my god, I know, yeah. And still believe in the innocence of those 18th people. Is that just a delusion? Am I just going to try and escape reality? Oh, that's interesting. Not yet. Oh, yeah, I do find it really quite interesting that he's just kind of subconsciously having the thoughts of potentially, you know, giving up, escaping the reality of the fact that, you know, it could be impossible. I wonder how he could disprove this, though. He's got to have this one. He's got to have a Zen Dameda moment. He's got to have an epiphany. Who cares about whoever? Oh my god, relatable. Who cares about whoever's Raven? They're just trying to confuse me by bringing up weird bits of trivia. No, no way, they're not. But to be fair, a lot of the trivia that they're actually suggesting doesn't have logical arguments that can actually add up. The only thing is it gives them more moves. It doesn't actually necessarily solve everything. I use the devil's proof. Don't feel uncertain about something you've already used once. Believe in the spit you've drawn. And then forcefully gouge it in. Oh, that's interesting. So he's, no matter how many defenses he could possibly have, he's believing in what he's actually used because it has nearly been effective, and he's trying to use it again. Right, I wonder. Oh my god, that's the even worse part, where it's still in the opening part of the game. Do you plan to keep thinking on this level? Oh. Wait a sec. Wait, I want to be sure. Oh yeah, simplicity is no longer a word they can use. I'll admit I talked about the 19th person to keep it simple. But if we're going to use the devil's proof to raise the number of people above 18. True. Yeah, there's no... Devil's proof disproves the amount of boxes Beatrice could potentially have because of the fact that you don't know the set amount. Then we'd have no way of knowing if there were 10 people, 100 people, or an intermediate, yeah. Indeterminate. Oh, indeterminate. Yeah, number of people. Yeah, it's the one you can't actually... Oh, that's interesting. But that's a devil's proof in itself. There is objectively one more than you assume, though, because of the fact that Eva has this weird alternate personality that also has an odd knowledge of magic. They counter my twisted logic with even something even more twisted. So the only thing that could counter that would be even crazier twisted logic. No, I see that. So I wonder how he's actually going to use this and how it's not going to be contradicted by Hempel's Raven paradox. I see. Seriously? Even if I somehow prove an alibi for the 19th person, as soon as I do, you will think up a 20th person and claim that they are the culprit. Yeah, I suppose so. By repeating this endlessly, you would make it so that I kept searching for their alibis for all eternity. God, just like a demon king summoning a plague of locusts. God. Oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't expect anything less from Kinzo's grandchild. Looks like you've been gifted with a talent in summoning. Is she being serious or what? In short. It's impossible to always prove an alibi for each person X outside the first 18. How do you like that, Beatrice? Oh yeah, that's understandable. Yeah. Now that I know we're having a battle with twisted logic, I won't lose. It's twisted logic used logically. So could you break out of the paradox and then think... So how do you break out of the paradox? So it's not Beatrice, it's not that. Yeah, Hempel's Raven eliminates any possibilities, and then you think of a new one, which you can't prove via, you know, the devil's proof method. And then that means... But you can then use the Hempel Raven trick on that. But then you can create a new one. And you can just keep on doing that until you die of boredom. I see that. Yeah. That does make sense. It's a really, really good way to actually get out of the game, I suppose. How foolish.
わらわを誰と心得
Yeah, who do you think I am?
わらわこそは無限の魔女
God. To be fair, does that mean anything to Basila, somebody who is refusing to believe in witches? I'm the endless witch.
そのわらわに無限にて挑むとは語
Yeah,
らい
understandable
た
actually,
いわ
yeah. Yeah, the thought that you could challenge me endlessly is just absurd. I'm gonna screenshot this because I feel this is gonna be like a quote that will be contradicted so much.
無限を殺すこともできるという
Oh yeah, understandable actually, yeah. Endless control means that I am able to kill endlessly. Fair. Fair enough. So the more this game goes on, the more pain and also the more torture Battler is actually going to receive because
わ
of...
らわが19人目を切れば
Yeah.
そなたは20人目を呼び
When your 19th person folds, you will summon a 20th.
20人目を切れば
Yeah,
21
definitely.
人目を呼び
And when your 20th person folds, you will summon a 21st.
21人目を切れば
Yeah.
22人目を切れば
And when your 21st person folds and your 22nd person folds.
23人目を呼び34人目を呼び6計4358兆2235億7967万3204人目を呼び
I just love listening to Beatrice's voice there. Oh my god. That has got to be the best Umineko voice line so far. I think that is just... That... She is like a computer that went into overload mode. Oh, here's a good example. No. She's like, you overclock a CPU too much so that the computer inside just gets so hot that it could potentially start a fire because of it being so hot that, you know, airflow can't actually cool down the amount of heat that's brewing up in the CPU. And then, yeah, that fire goes off. And that is the result of it. Proper overload. It's like clocking 100 clock CPU, 100... No, what am I talking about? Blimmin' 100 gigahertz, well, no, 1 gigahertz, you fucking idiot. 1 gigahertz CPU to 10 gigahertz overclocking. I mean, I know that you can't do that, but still, it's just like doing something like that, I suppose. I do wonder, I mean, that's just a guess, but I wonder what would actually happen if you did something like that. You summon a 21st person, a 34 person, and, right, let's break this number down. How many digits? Right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10... 12, 13, 14, 15. Right, 15. A billion is 9. Trillion is 12. So this is quadrillion. Right, so 643 quadrillion, 582 trillion, 235 billion, 796 million, 700. Fuck! Ah, fuck! It's 60 quadrillion, 64 quadrillion, 358 trillion, 223 billion, 579 million, 673,000, and 204. Yes! Did you think that you'd have a... Yeah, I know. I mean, your mercy for all eternity. Like, how would she come back, I wonder? Yeah, I love her infinite regress. Oh, that's interesting. Fair. The infinite doesn't work against me. To be fair, you are kind of 1,000 years old. But still. Well then, how will you kill my endless? Just try and show me. Yeah, I really wonder. Oh shit! What has she done? Oh yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, this is a weapon. I have the power to see the truth in red. Yeah, that is a weapon. Oh, yeah. Just having a clever way of getting out of it, and then it's completely fucked. Oh, yeah, definitely. When I speak in red, it will contain absolutely no illusions. If I say once in red that there were no more than 100 people on this... No more than 100 people on this island? Could there be 99 then? Or could it be 100 itself? Doesn't necessarily prove anything. You've still got blimmin' how many people? So you've got blimmin' 81 extra people that could potentially be a suspect then. It's not endless, but it still gives you stuff to work with. See, Battler? Ooh, yeah, it's going to be interesting. What truth shall I tell in red this time? Where shall I strike for the kill and force you into hopelessness?
そら、いつもの怯えた顔を見せてみるがいい。
God, come on, show me your usual frightened face. Oh, I wonder what she's going to do.
何？
What? How? How are you laughing? Yeah, he's done with being defeated.
笑うか。
Why are you laughing? Oh my god, yeah, you probably got one of the looks, a look like Beatrice's most creepy one. I wonder what kind of creepy look. I had on my face as I laughed right then. That cough was brilliant. That red sure is scary. Yeah, I mean, it quite literally is red. Yeah, fair. Every time it jumps out, I'm driven out into the depths of hopelessness. But I've already realised something. What? There's no need to be overly afraid of the red. That is interesting. Yeah, you brought out your own trump card again. So?
今度はベアトリーチェ様は何をどう赤で語ってくださるってんだ?
How and for what will Beatrice Summer use this red this time? Oh my god, say it!
それはどういう意味か。
What do you mean by that?
急に余裕を見せよって。
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really do wonder what he's actually thinking. So I wonder what he's actually realised. Oh.
悪いが、その真っ赤な砲塔は俺も抜いてくれるのを待ってたんだ。
Sorry, but I was waiting for you to take out that blood-stained, blood red treasured sword of yours.
さて、お前は今度は何を赤で宣言してくれるんだ?
Let's see, what will you proclaim in red this time?
言っとくが、そいつは自爆だぞ。
No, she isn't. No. You aren't going to say the culprit was one of those 18 people, are you?
その時点で、お前は魔女説を自ら捨てたも同然。
Oh yeah, definitely. But the only thing is that's not going to happen. Be careful. Does that mean self-destruction for you, right?
まさに投了だ。
Fair. That would be the same as throwing away your own witch theory yourself.
確かに俺にとっても。
Complete resignation. Battle is really playing with twisted logic here. Sometimes it can be an advantage, but this time it really isn't. She isn't going to say that though, she can't. That's right. The red wasn't always a weapon that worked in Beatrice's favour alone. I mean, yeah, definitely, yeah, because if she can't say something in red, oh boy, it was the other way round. If she used it the wrong way, it was dangerous enough that she could bring about her own death. I mean, maybe not her death, but her downfall, definitely. If she used it carelessly and said something that ended up denying herself, that'd be exactly as... Oh, yeah, definitely. Exactly the same as self-destruction. Yeah, true.
18人の中に犯人がいると赤で言われることは受け入れたくない。
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. He would be fucked, but the only thing is he probably knows that's not going to happen. Of course, it would be sad and difficult for me to accept if you told me, in red, that one of the 18 was the culprit.
たとえ誰が犯人であっても、俺はきっと辛い気持ちになるだろうぜ。
Yeah, that is interesting. No matter who the culprit actually was, I'd definitely have to deal with some tough emotions.
だが、それはそれ以前に、
Yeah,
お前の敗北を
yeah,
意味する。
because the murderer couldn't have been a witch. But before that, it would mean your defeat.
人間が犯人だとお前が赤で語ることは、お前の投了宣言にも等しい。
Saying in red that the culprit is a human is equivalent to your proclamation of resignation.
お前が俺と差し違えても相打ちにしたいってんなら、それも面白い一手だろうぜ。
By the way, my webcam is pissing me off. Oh, that's better. My webcam's really, really high up as well. I should probably fix that. There we are. If you say a human is the culprit in red, then you are denying every premise, the fact that you are the culprit and your magic was the thing that had actually done it. Gives Battler a massive advantage in knowing where to actually place his theories.
だがこの勝負は俺の勝ちで終わる。
However, this particular battle will end in my victory. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Beatrice's red was her true trump card. When that person speaks in red, it's definitely the truth. And oh yeah, and no amount of proof or counter arguments can change that. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Until now, she's used that to severely wound me. Oh yeah, and each time the tiny foundation supporting my heart gets split in half. Yeah, fair. However, if she uses it carelessly, then I can also glean like a little information about the truth. Yeah, I suppose that. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yes, definitely, yeah. In the last game, I used that to my advantage, especially during the chapel's closed room trick, and almost completely got her boxed in at one point. Yeah, definitely, I agree. Yeah, red is a weapon. But she was also pretty sly herself. Yeah, that's the bad thing though, yeah. Yeah, she learned from experience, and since then she started using discretion in the timing of her red. Yeah, fair. This feeling of tension was also almost literally like a battle with real yeah, I see that. It's a high-level intellectual battle. No, not an intellectual battle. This really... yeah, I like that. This really is twisted logic. But because of the fact that it's twisted... It's ironic that you have twisted logic, but to make that logical and the usage of twisted logic is actually intellectual in its own right. So you can still call it a high-level intellectual battle. This is the world's craziest and worst battle of twisted logic. No, I see what he means. It's awesome, though. She doesn't have to say something in red, though. Her being sly, combined with that's not going to be very good. But her refusal to say something in red can be noted. Can't forget about that. Right. Oh, what's this?
Okay,
now it's time to hear your plan.
そうさ。
That's right.
お前のヘンペルのカラスを使うには
To use your Hempel's Raven.
まず18人以外に何人の人間がいるのかを赤で確定させる必要がある。
Oh, yeah, that's fair, actually. Yeah, to use your Hempel's Raven, first, you'll have to confirm in red how many humans there are other than the 18.
その上で
Yeah.
それらの人間についてさらに赤で犯人でないことを宣言したならば
That'd just be way too easy. Why would she do that? And after that, if you proclaim in red that none of the people in this group are the culprit.
なるほど。こいつは俺にとって致命傷になるだろうぜ。
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's right. That might be a fatal wound to me. I think Battler is probably trying to do this so that he can know how many people were on the island. That would be a good move. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's really surprising. But he's definitely developed. Interesting that Beatrice is really quite scared there, provoked. I'm surprised that you no longer have even an atom of fear for the red, which once terrified you so much. Yeah, quite resilient. Fair enough, actually, yeah. No, I really don't disagree with that. I mean, to have so many times where you're just totally cornered and hopelessness is, you know, obviously the primal emotion. Yeah, to be able to actually rise against that. It takes some doing, it really, really does. Oh, interesting. Try taking it out, that's a little bit weird. That treasure sword, that trump card of yours.
バッサリ決まって今度こそ俺を屈服できるかもしれねえぜ。
This time, you might be able to make me surrender with a single stroke, right? I see what he's doing, I like it. Interesting. I wouldn't have it any other way. Agitate her. Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely challenge her. Yeah. Drive her into a corner to make her speak in red. Oh, yeah, fair. Of course, her red's always wiping out my only raise of... Oh yeah, definitely, but at the same time, you can even use some attack moves like this to your advantage. But don't be afraid of that. On the solid overcome of falsehoods and illusion, the only thing I can trust... Yeah, I suppose the red truth. I mean, yeah, the information she speaks in red is my only way across the chasm of hell. Yeah, I see that. Just a single tightrope. And I suppose, like, with a tightrope, you can use it to your advantage. You can, obviously, cross it, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Oh, interesting. Yeah, her merciless blood red blade is the only way I can survive. This isn't just walking on a tightrope, it's like literally... God, it's like literally walking on the edge of the blade. And it is interesting that, because I suppose... I don't think that's very likely. It kind of depends on which conditions, though, because I suppose... I mean, it would be very, very painful, don't get me wrong, but, yeah, I'm just assuming, like, a blade as long as this. Like, a really long blade, not just accidentally... Oh, I accidentally walked on something bad. Oh, shit, it's the edge of a blade. No, it's not that, but, I'm assuming, like, a tightrope, but with the edge of a blade. I don't think that's very accurate, though, because that would determine that... Well, no, if you're defeated and you're killed, and you lose, you're fucking dead. Like, this game may be fun to read, but we kind of need to remember that this is his life, basically. This is a life or death game. Because my victory condition is the denial of witches, then to use her contrapositive logic, the culprit must be human. Yeah, fair. But I didn't want to search for a culprit amid the 18. That's what made me want to stick to a weak position, since I had to claim both that it couldn't be a witch and that it couldn't be one of the 18. Last time I was unable to understand that, so that's where she hit me, leaving me tattered and defeated. Yeah, that's actually really quite interesting that, you know, the culprit may not be a witch, but it may not be one of the 18. I see, but that's okay. Let her hit me. Let her attack. No problem. Oh, that's probably going to be a regretting... Oh, something he's going to regret. Someone said it once in an old sword fighting movie. That a good fortress has one, and only one, intentionally weak... Oh, that's actually really quite interesting, that. Yeah, I suppose so. The enemy would gather there. Oh, yeah, yeah, they would be lured there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is actually really quite interesting. So, in Beatrice's potential weak point, that is where... No, in Battler's weak point, he's going to be lured to his weak point, but then Beatrice... It depends on how Beatrice is actually going to overthrow him. Could be really bad, could be not as bad, I don't know. It could be so bad that he may not have a counter argument for it. It's hard to tell, though. As long as I understood my weak points, and as long as she wanted to attack those weak points, it was as if I were luring her into launching an attack there. What was the distance between us with care, retreating step by step? Make them move forward. Oh shit. Oh damn. Yeah, understandable. The more she recklessly flourished that red, the more chances I would get to strike back. Don't be afraid of the red. Keep her cornered so that she'll have no chance but to refute me with the red. Well, that is actually really quite interesting. So you have no other logic that you can actually use. So the only thing that you can possibly contradict Battler with is the objective truth. No matter how she oppressively speaks, in red. That's right, that red itself is the same as fresh blood leaking from her That is interesting. That's one less truth that Battler has to not worry about denying. Oh my god, interesting that Beatrice isn't really fully confident. Yeah, what's wrong? That is an interesting question. Oh yeah, that would be interesting. First of all, why don't you tell me how many people were on this island in total? If you don't, your raven can't cut me up. I see that. How surprising you can be this desperate and yet this difficult. Because yeah, definitely, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, one cannot make light of somebody putting their life on the line no matter what the era. It's no surprise that you're Kinzo's grandchild. The more cornered you are... Ah, yeah, I see that. Yeah, the bolder you become. Yeah, and the more he actually thinks of strats that could potentially completely disprove her, I wonder. None of their cleared his throat. It appears to be a step. How? Wow. That black tea works so hard to make it getting cold. Bruh. My lady. Yeah, of course not for Battler. None of it. Who was supposed to be our ally, roguishly rushed her into making the next move. That's actually really quite surprising. Yeah, that's actually really quite good in an intellectual battle. Beartop probably thought that she'd managed to smile back and appeared confident, but she couldn't hide the sweat building up on her foot. How? That actually really, really surprises me. Yeah, that is interesting. But now she had completely lost the confident feeling that had allowed her to turn her nose up at her worthless opponent. Of course, she probably wouldn't be cornered by something like this. Oh yeah, definitely not. But at the same time, if this is a disadvantage, then it's really, really good. The only thing is she's probably going to improve like Battler has. She's going to learn her opponent as well. Yeah, that too. Yeah, she's just being cautious. Until now, I've been inexperienced. I didn't know how to fight, and I wasn't strong enough to be her opponent. Yeah, fair. However, now that we've reached the third game, she's realised that I'm starting to become more skilled. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And she's grown more cautious, thinking every move over carefully. Fair. Sure, that's just fine, Beatrice. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you happy now? Oh my god, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you know stuff has come. He is actually getting really quite confident when he's going to be able to say what the witch is saying. But at the same time, though, this logic is good, and he obviously may have a few more advantages now that he knows more strategies to actually get him out of situations. But at the same time, you've got to apply it. You can't just know stuff. You've got to apply it to the actual cases, really. Yeah, now it's starting to get interesting, huh? Yeah, it's actually really quite interesting that... What's she gonna say? Yeah, I see that actually. Yeah. I mean, she's just refusing to actually say anything in the red. It's interesting that this isn't getting us anywhere. Then should we get to the heart of the matter and go with the usual? The usual, you say? Then by all means.
やはり始まった気がせぬわ。
Yeah, if I don't hear you say that, I guess I won't just feel like starting. The festival is mine.
行くぜベアト。
Here we go, Berto. Oh,
小
yeah.
要求。
Repeat it.
この島には18人しかいない。
Oh, yeah, on the island there are only 18 people. How many reds is Beatrice actually going to say, though? I wonder. What?
こいつを赤で言われちまったら。
Okay, that is weird. The fact that she is not constantly... The fact that she is not actually saying this without hesitation. If I hear you say this in red, I'll have no choice but to suspect one of the 18. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
19人目の仕業にはもうできず、八方塞がりさ。
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I won't be able to say a 19th person did it, so all doors will be closed to me.
だが、俺は18人の中に犯人が絶対にいないと信じてる。
I can't believe that Beatrice isn't actually saying that in red, though. That's weird. However, I believe that the culprit definitely isn't one of those 18.
あんな残酷な殺人を。18
Now I
人
see
の誰にも起こせるもの
that.
か。
Kinzo is the only person I think could maybe, because of his occult obsession. There's no way any of those 18 could commit such brutal murders.
繰り返すぞ。
I'll say it again.
不詳要求。
Repeat
この
it.
島には18人しかいない。
On this island, there are only 18 people.
拒否する。
She can refuse to be fair. Now that's actually really quite interesting because you need to take notes of the small things. The fact that she is actually refusing this proves that, firstly, there were more than 18 people on this island somehow, but at the same time, it doesn't prove anything more than that.
理由は明かさない。
Yeah, of course you won't. Whoa. I'd avoided what we... Oh my... Oh, yeah, understandable. Yeah, yeah. I've got to... I love how much you can take this out of context because, you know, game I play, red coins or something. So we always call them reds. So it just kind of contrasts that. If she repeated that... Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, understandable, actually, yeah. I'd be faced with the two worst choices of accepting the witch or suspecting one of the 18. Like last time all over. Oh, yeah, fair, yeah. But Berto hadn't actually proclaimed my ultimate and greatest weakness in... Yes. She refused to repeat it, even though there was no reason for her not to strike. Yes, even though it was a weakness she should have been drooling at. Yeah, understandable, yeah. She hasn't sliced me up with red by using that move, which should have been as good as forking a rook and a king. This is a big sign of my advantage. That is interesting. Oh, I like the sauce. Yeah, exactly. So Beatrice should have struck even, but like there was no reason that she shouldn't have actually done so. This is a big sign of my advantage. Yeah, fair, that's right. The culprit isn't one of the 8. Yeah, definitely, I agree. But at the same time, it's interesting that Beatrice isn't actually saying that there's 18 people. I won't suspect anyone. And since the culprit isn't a witch either, yeah, it means a 19th person exists on this island. It is interesting that. I really do wonder if that could potentially be proven. And that's you. A person who, as grandfather... Yes, as grandfather's mistress of 30 years... has been secretly living in a hidden mansion in the forest for a long, long time. I wonder the human Beatrice? What? How? That's actually really quite interesting. I wonder what Beatrice would think from that. That's right. You aren't a witch or anything like it. That is actually true. Yeah. I don't know if she's a human, but at the same time, that second part is 100% true. We know that. Who's been living on this island in hiding for several decades. Whether she's actually the person that Kinzo's been having a mistress for is unknown. And also wavelength stuff. Can't forget about that.
千年を経た無限の魔女の
Oh no!
ただの人間呼ばわりしたか
Oh my god, I see that she'd be pissed by that, but at the same time, like, people don't just become witches. A witch isn't, like, a species. I don't know, a subspecies of human beings who are above human beings, obviously, because of their knowledge of how to use magic, and also wizards, I suppose, but, like, still, though, like... Yeah, did you just call me the Endless Witch who has lived for over 1,000 years? A human? Yeah, for a while, Beatrice continued to laugh unpleasantly and gloatingly, or maybe spitefully. Oh, interesting.
いいか、続けるぜ。
Are you ready? I'll keep going.
続けて副長要求。
Again, repeat it.
この島には19人以上がいる。
Ooh, yeah, there are 19 people or more on this island. Oh, you arsehole. You... Oh, yeah. It is interesting this. You can't be dependent on the red because she does not say it very often, it feels like. Beatrice fell silent once again. She'd probably remain extremely cautious as long as confirming the number of humans on this island might give her some large disadvantage. It would, I agree, depending on the situation. Yeah, I wonder. The red has already become a foothold for my counterattacks. Now that we know this, it makes the red very risky for the witch. Yeah. I really like this theme. It's really well made. Yeah, understandable. But if she couldn't repeat this, her Hembel's Raven wouldn't be effective. Well, that's interesting. To break my Devil's Proof, she would need to settle the existence and number of people outside the 18 in red. Does she? Really? You can say it isn't... You can say it's not the witch. The witch is vague. You could be talking about any amount of people. You don't have to assign a certain value to the amount of people that are mentioned under, you know, the identifier, the witch. The witch didn't do that. The witch didn't do the crime. Can't say it in red. Yeah, you can't say it in red, so you probably can't use the Hembel's Raven to prove that the 18 are. But at the same time, you could find something that could potentially have the same impact as saying this in red. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. That's right. She couldn't break the existence of a 19th person unless she used red. Red. Yeah, definitely, yeah. I've closed Beatrice in, giving her no choice but to speak. Yeah, definitely. I really do wonder what she's actually going to be able to do. If she can't use her Hembel's Raven, can she use a Devil's Proof for herself, though, genuinely? There really is a way to... No, I know, it's really, really surprising. I do wonder what he's actually going to be able to do with this ability in this witch's game.
拒否してもいいんだぜ。
It's okay to refuse.
お前が赤で言えないなら、この島の合計
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
18プラス X ってことになる。
If you can't say it in red, that means there's a total of 18 plus X people on this island.
この X は初手で許すには相当
Oh
でか
yeah,
い
definitely,
大物だ
yeah, because that can give so many people for Basilisk to actually suspect. Yeah, and then it can also give Hembel's Raven trials, i.e. something's disproved with a Hembel's Raven, and then you just go to the next person with Devil's Proof. Yeah, that X is a pretty massive piece to lose on your first move, right?
何しろ以後18人の誰にも不可能だったという根拠のトリックは
After all, from now on, all of the tricks that were impossible for the 18.
全て18人以外の人間 X で説明可能になる。
Yeah, that's actually really quite understandable. Yeah, it can be explained with a human X who wasn't in that group.
系の密室を全て打ち破れる大駒だ。
This huge piece can break open all the rooms you said were closed because everyone had an alibi. Eva and Hideyoshi. What about them? How can someone who is human break open the door with a chain without the chain breaking whatsoever? Don't know if anything will come up. Just getting who is liable to insurance and trouble for having damaged stuff if police damage your door down in some sort of emergency. It's just like how a chess bishop can cut as a thin line through enemy forces as long as there's a slight gap. How interesting. It could only be effective. It could only be effectively used on squares of the same colour, but it was very good at controlling territory on the board. Oh, that's actually really quite interesting. So this could only be used to battle as advantage, and obviously squares of the same colour, i.e. culprits of the same identity, human. And also, yeah, it would be good at controlling the amount of advantage Battler actually has over Beatrice. How? It looks like Bertolt also noticed her current plight. She couldn't just let such an important piece go. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, especially this close to the beginning of the game. If she pulled out her red treasured sword, it wouldn't be that difficult to save herself from this. Yeah, understandable actually, yeah. Maybe. But Bertolt was completely aware that I was expecting it. Oh yeah, definitely, it's genius! Yeah, she was afraid that a careless red truth might end up strangling her own neck. Because in the first place, a witch is something that ought to be denied in red. Oh yeah, that is interesting. Belief. No doubt, yeah, witches don't exist. Something like that couldn't exist in this world. Oh yeah, just totally. Oh yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, what if this is what that world is? They can only exist in the valleys between truths. They have a fragile existence, curled up in these cracks, frantically trying to protect themselves from the brutal winds of truth. Oh yeah, that's interesting. They're just concealed within the cracks of what actual truth is. And they're made to look like truth, but they aren't whatsoever, and they can only barely exist in like a mirage by... Yeah, surviving on falsehoods and illusions. That's actually really quite interesting. I wonder what Beatrice is actually going to say. In other words, the red, which only witches can use, is the reality that might easily deny their very being. Yeah, I do wonder. The more they brandish their red words, the more they begin to lose bit by bit that crack. The more they begin to lose bit by bit of that crack in truth inside, which they can endure. Oh, that's interesting. That's why they don't want to use red words and carelessly lose that cracking truth, which is based on fuzzy information. It's actually really quite interesting, the fact that he potentially thinks that, you know, witches are basically just a crack in the world of what is actually meant to be and what isn't meant to be. And all of the truth that actually surrounds witches is based on fuzzy information. I don't really think that's likely though. It's a very biased statement from him. Or illusions, in other words. That's because they understand that they're gradually being cornered. Yeah, she should. Of course, that bastard will never admit it, because if she did, it'd be the same as admitting that she's something that can't exist in this world. Oh yeah, like an imaginary number. Don't be afraid. Stay strong. Oh yeah, I know that she's the one who's really been pierced to the bone. After all, her red treasure sword can't be used without a lot of preparation. Yeah, fair enough actually, yeah. Wonder what's going to happen now. Is she going to use it? Oh yeah, I was right. Oh yeah, just insult to injury, of course. Fair enough. Oh. Say it again. Repeat it. There are 19 people or more on this island. I wonder if she's actually going to do it. Oh yeah, of course she does. Why wouldn't she? At the end of Bertolt's worrying, she took a single deep breath and quietly announced her refusal. I thought she'd use it. Yeah, see, but Bertolt refused to speak in red, even though it would cost her victory in the opening part of the game. Yeah, that's understandable, because if you could have a red that would totally disadvantage Battler, that is the only place it would be a victorious decision, and you refused. Which means that from now on, we know that there are more than 19 people in the island. Oh yeah, that is interesting, yeah. Which means that from now on, I can create as many fictional character X's outside the 18 as I want. Do as you wish. I've refused to repeat what you have told me. Isn't that enough for now? The reason for my refusal is... Oh, that is interesting. I won't tell you yet. Anyway, you know soon enough? What? I wonder. Yeah, acting tough, I suppose, yeah. Yeah, fair enough, actually, because he won't give a definitive advantage to your opponent. They can just speculate the advantage. Maybe the red could actually completely make you in the advantageous position, but you're not using it so that you could deceive your opponent. Choosing not to use the red is another way of using it. Oh yeah, understandable. Yeah, it wouldn't be a treasure sword if it could potentially be a double-edged one. You could have meant red treasure sword. A pleasant metaphor. I will use it too. Yeah, I suppose so. A treasure sword is best at its best when it's sheathed. Yeah, understandable actually, yeah. In fact, there are times when it can instill even more fear because it is sheathed. But at the same time, it is actually best. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's true. As I fight, I always have to keep in mind whether you might spin everything around with those red words. Yeah, I see that as some pretty serious pressure. And there are also times when you make things pretty tough by refusing to repeat after me.
何しろ俺の読みが正しいから拒否できないのか
Those times I can't tell if you can't repeat because my guess was right.
ミスリードにはまって泳がされてるのか
Exactly, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or if you're misleading me and letting me flounder about.
そういう意味ではなるほど
If you think of it that way, yeah.
数の宝刀ってわけだ
Yeah, it's a sheathed treasure sword.
ねえ
So what?
同じ突き落とすなら少しでも高いところに行かせてからに限る
If I'm going to push you off a cliff anyway, best to let you climb a bit higher
まだ
first.
始まったばかり
We've still barely
ま
begun.
だまだな
Oh yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, much is left to come.
この勝負は今はわらわがリザインす
I resign from this challenge.
る淡き勝利に今は酔
Oh, that is interesting. Go and get drunk on your fake victory
え
for
今
now.
はな
Oh yeah, but only for now. That's actually really quite interesting that Beatrice is just totally resigning at the thought of potentially, you know, leaking to Battler whether there is a 19th person or not in red. She denies it, which could be indicative, but it's not fully indicative. Interesting that she is really, really arrogant. I see what Kiria was saying yesterday. But only for now. Interesting, that. What's now? Looks like a definite change in scenery. Oh. No, I agree. Yeah. Practically speaking, the early part of the game ended with her being a sore loser. Even so, I couldn't relax my guard at all. Oh yeah, definitely, because she could potentially whip out a red any time. The tension didn't fade one bit until I was greeted by the sound of Donove's applause. Wow, surprising. Spectacular, Batara-sama. He may have, to be fair. What happens when Beatrice has an advantageous development, though? Well, with these new strategies, he can actually have some sort of means of preventing them. Who knows? Yeah, I still don't know whether I've taken a piece by my move. Or whether she's guided me into taking it. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Fair. After all, knowing you. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually. Yeah, I see that. You probably know I'm being led into a trap, and that clapping is just you mocking me openly, right? How could you think that? Impressive. I'm innocently celebrating your ability, which has enabled you to take one shot at Milady, even though it's only the first round. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. In any event, Milady is the person who is quick to become arrogant. Oh yeah, understandable actually. Yeah, just the thought that you may be an endless witch, but that doesn't mean you are above everybody else. In any event, Milady is a person who is quick to become arrogant. I believe that little encouragement such as this can be good medicine every once in a while. Oh shit. Ah, no, I see that. Yeah. You never get a butler normally saying bad about, you know, the person that they're actually working for. I mean, it's surprising. It was never in the contract, though. Yeah, I see that. He does, doesn't he? Damn, sometimes he tricks me off as well. Oh, he ticks me off as well. Fair enough. Mama, how incredibly rude of me. Well then, Melody Battle or
紅茶
something.
のおかわりはいかがですかな
How would you like some more
ま
black
だゲ
tea?
ームは始まったばかりでございます
Oh yeah, understandable. Yeah, the game is still barely
ゲー
begun.
ムを彩るお茶とお菓子はどうかこの私めにお任せを
Damn. Benefits. Please allow me to prepare all the tea and snacks needed to adorn this
ど
game.
うぞお気兼ねなくゲームをおすすめになってください
I'll ask that you continue your game without any reservations.
そうさせてもらう
I will.
先を進めるぜ
Let's move
こ
forward.
れからが本番だ
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now is when it really starts.
よかろう
Very well.
時計を進めようではないか
Yeah, let us advance the
ど
clock.
の上紅茶を頼む
Run off there, black tea, please.
かしこまりましたクッキーは
How about a cookie?
いらぬ
She doesn't need one. Surprising. I don't need one.
ベルゼブブにあれば喜ぼう
Oh, who's that? Oh my
しば
god.
し沈黙せ
Isn't she the really immature one? She's the immature one with green hair. That's who I'm thinking of. Fuck! I literally remembered the fact that she had weird pigtail-like hair. But, yeah. Yeah, they often fight. Oh, right. I love this. Which one was the green-haired one? No, I swear there. Yeah, there was one with green hair. Oh, Leviathan, right? Why are they wearing Angel Mort clothing, by the way? Like, genuinely. Oh. I'm crying, goddamn. I've got to learn the names of these guys. So that's Beelzebub. That's... I'm not even going to guess. It's going to be familiar. Asmodeus. Right, that's Asmodeus. That's Satan. That is Satan. That's Belphegor. Yes! That is, Blimmin' Beelzebub. That is, it's not Belphegor, it's... Fuck! Oh, shit, who is it? Who is it? Oh, Lucifer, right. And that's not Asmodeus. It is Asmodeus. Right. That's Beelzebub. That's Belphegor. That's Satan. That's Lucifer. That's Asmodeus. That's, Leviathan. That's Belphegor. That's Leviathan. Okay, that probably looked really awkward, but I wanted to learn these people's names, and I needed to do it eventually. Remain silent for now. While listening to the sound of the demon butler pouring tea, the witch closed her eyes slightly and fell silent. She's probably contemplating how this game will actually progress. Oh, that is interesting. Oh, for some time she was deeply lost in thought, but eventually a roguish glint came into her eyes.
よかろう
Very well.
わらわがどうして書
Oh,
店に
yes, that
赤
will
で
be
語る
interesting.
のを拒否したのか
Why don't I inform
今
you
より
now?
分からせてやろうぞ
Why don't I inform you now as to why I refused to speak in red during that move?
何
Could this potentially have some sort of downfall?
上等じゃねえかよ
Bring it on. Oh, I don't think you'll be
お手
confident
並み
after
拝見
this.
と行くぜ
Show me what you've got.
やはり見逃すには惜しい大駒よ
Yes, that piece really was big enough that I'd hate to lose. Oh yeah, definitely, because it would say so much, and it would help Battler do so much.
拙速かもしれぬが動かせてもらおう
It may be hasty, but allow me to make my move.
赤は使わぬが今よりそれをわらわに代わってローザが説明する
I won't use the red, but from here on, Loza will explain on my behalf. Listen. Oh, that's interesting. So they're going to listen to Loza's explanation. Oh, that's interesting. The link there. Loza is going to explain why she denies in red. The
もちろん
theory.
私も同意よ
So we can really, really listen to the validity of Loza's information. Of course, I think the same way.
ローザもそうでしょ
Loza does too, right?
ローザ
Loza? Oh.
ごめんなさい。
Huh? Oh, sorry.
私も同じよ。
Me too.
同意するわ。
I love that she so obviously wasn't listening to something.
どうしたんや、ローザさん。
What's wrong, Doza-san?
あんたさっきからずいぶんおとなしいな。
Oh, she's probably been contemplating something. You've been really quiet for a
体
while
調で
now.
も悪いんとちゃうか
Are you feeling sick? From the beginning, Doza had never been one to cut in the siblings' fight. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But even so, she seemed unmotivated, interesting, and had said almost nothing during this night's conference. This whole time, she had hung her head and appeared to be thinking of something else.
あんたさっきからぼんやりしてるわよ。
You've been in a daze for a while
そん
now.
なので遺産が守れると思ってるの？
Oh my god, do you think you can protect the inheritance like that? God, it's all about the inheritance, isn't
あ
it?
んたも一児の母なんだから。もっとしっかりなさいよ。
God, you're also the mother of your child, so get a stronger hold on yourself. You don't need to be a mother with inheritance. I'm sorry.
ごめんなさい。
God, she's just been totally bullied here. I mean, yeah, it's just acting as if everybody would want the inheritance and that she's a bad mother for not fully prioritizing the inheritance. I wonder what she's thinking though, because if Beatrice says that this, whatever she thinks, denies the fact that there are more than 18 people on the island, or maybe, I don't know, complements that theory, what is it going to be, I wonder?
朝がだいぶ早かったんじゃないかね。
Did you wake up really early in the
体
morning?
調が悪いなら無理をしない方がいいだろう。
Yeah, Kraus actually being, like, you know, the nice and realistic one. This is something I would have expected Rudolph to say. I'm actually really quite impressed. If you feel sick, you shouldn't overdo it.
客室にベッドの用意がありますよ。
Yeah, the beds in our guest room have been
お
prepared.
休みになってはいかがですか？
How about taking a
ご
rest?
案内しますよ。
I'll guide you.
いえ、大丈夫です。
No, I'm fine.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
どうしたんだ？
What is it?
何か心配事でもあるのか？
Is there something you're worrying about?
いえ、別に。
No, nothing. No, not really.
そう？
Is that so?
さっきからずっと心ここに
Yeah,
あ
no, I
らずと
see
いう
that.
感じよ。
Yeah, and if Kiria, to be honest, if Kiria actually suggests that, then yeah, I think it's probably likely. Kiria is so smart. I mean, she literally guessed the entire motive behind the magic. Obviously, she doesn't even know about the fact that witches exist, but still, or whether they exist, she still guessed the entirety of it.
そしてそれは今私たちがしている議題と何か関係があるんじゃないかしら。
I wonder if that has anything to do with what we're talking about. At those words, everyone stared at Dosa to go, oh god, as in response, Dosa's shoulders quivered. Apparently, Kiria's guess hadn't been wrong. Dosa couldn't deny it either.
いえ、
No, God, I wonder what's actually happening. She swallowed whatever it was she had been trying to say and went silent. Oh. Of course, the other siblings also began to realise that something about her appearance was different from usual.
どうしたんだ？
What is it?
さっきからおかしいぞ。
You've been weird for a while.
何か思うことでもあるのか？
Did you think of something?
わしら全員で団結しようって誓い合ったばかりや
Oh
ないか。
yeah, so all thoughts are united as well. We all just swore to remain united,
一
didn't
人
we?
で悩むなんて水臭い話やで。
Yeah, that's nice. Don't worry, hold back worrying about yourself.
話したってな。
Fair, we said we'd talk.
どうぞ
Rosa,
話しなさい。
tell us. God, yeah, definitely, yeah. The men pressed her on one after the other, and Rosa confessed, resignedly and nervously. The atmosphere made it seem as though she was confessing to some modest prank, which had inadvertently brought about a serious situation. What?
いえ、
No,
ベアトリーチェっていうお父様の愛人って
no, this mistress of grandfather's, this
本
Beatrice.
当に
I was wondering if she's still
生きてるのかしらって思って。
はあ？
Yeah, that is interesting, huh?
そりゃ生きてるに決まってるでしょ
Yeah, isn't it obvious that she's alive?
う。こうして手紙を送ってくるぐらいだもの。
After all, she was able to send... Yeah, definitely. I wonder what she's actually suggesting.
元気かどうかは別の
Oh
問題だ
shit,
ろう。
this is bad for Battler because this proves that the mistress is dead. Could potentially prove that there is only a logical assumption that 18 people were on the island. But at the same time, you can use the infinite devil's proof and, you know... You can use that rule, I suppose, but I don't know. Whether she's in good health or not is a different story, though.
肖像画の美女も今じゃきっといいお年だろうぜ。
Yeah, the woman in that portrait must be getting up in there by age now.
元気やと思うで。
Yeah, I mean, if she's a witch, well, obviously. I'd say she's healthy.
金のことで悪知恵働くやつは決まっていくつになっても元気や。
What about, I don't know, what if you have a stroke or a heart attack or, I don't know, you get some sort of really quite sudden disease that kills you? I don't really think that's true then. People who are crafty when it comes to money stay healthy no matter how old they get. I love that.
案外悪巧みは最高の回春剤かもしらへんで。
Her evil plan might even be the best rejuvenating agent. I love his laugh, it sounds so weird. He's confident in his own
生
health.
きてるはず
She shouldn't be.
ないの。
Why? Huh? She
今
said
な
that
ん
with
て
confidence. What did you just say?
ベアトリーチェ
Beatrice is
死んでるのよ。
dead? Okay, prove it. What?
私が殺した。
What? Okay, I'm sorry, but what?
なんだって。
What? What did you say?
どういうことよ、ローザ。
What do you mean, Loza?
でも私が殺したわけじゃ。
But it wasn't really me who killed her.
でも私があんなところに連れ出したから。
The chapel? So we did bring her to a place. Oh, what the fuck?
やっぱり私が殺したのよ。
No, I did kill her after all.
あれは夢だと思い込もうとしたのよ。
I'm trying to make myself believe it was just a dream.
やっぱりあれは夢じゃなかったのよ。
But it wasn't really a dream, was
だ
it?
からこれはベアトリチェの俺からの手紙なのよ。
Which makes this a letter from Beatrice's ghost. God, no, I know! That is so weird. What the fuck has happened? Genuinely, what the fuck has happened? That is all I can ask. Like, there are no other questions apart from that. It was so sudden that everyone was lost for words. But as I kept on talking, unable to stop, holding her head as her hair flew. Oh my god, flew all about.
どうか落ち着いて。
Yeah, calm yourself.
ローザさん。
Rosa-san.
わしには何
Oh my
も
god,
ない
yes,
や
yeah.
っぱりや。
Who does? I have absolutely no clue what's going
もう
on.
死んどる？
Yeah, already
ど
dead.
ういう意味なんや。
What do you mean?
二つの意味があると思うわ。
I think it means two things.
まず一つ目は言葉通りの意味。
First, it's literal meaning. Yeah.
そしてもう一つは私たちの想像が正しかったことを裏付けるもの。
Arrogance? And second, it backs up our earlier guess.
ということは
Which means...
ローザはベアトリーチェに会ったことがあるというのか。
And that's actually really quite interesting. That obviously proves the fact that... Because of the fact that she thought it was a complete dream, that proves... I don't know, episode 1, it obviously proves everything there. And it is interesting that this really adds weight to the fact that she'd actually deny Beatrice and... You know, obviously why Beatrice was intent on giving her the worst treatment whatsoever. If she's literally killed her, I just genuinely wonder what's actually happened.
そんな話ローザの口からは一度も聞いたことがないわ。
No, I know, and she's a bloody sister. I've never heard Doza mention anything
ロ
like
ーザ
this.
いつよ。
Oh my god, she sounds so... This is the worst person to get into a fight with. Doza, when was it?
あなたは一体いつベアトリーチェに会ったのよ。
Jesus Christ, when could you have possibly met Beatrice? Long ago.
昔よ。ずっと昔よ。
Long ago.
まだこの島に引っ越してきたばかりで私は幼かった。
We just moved over to this island and I was still young. Yeah, that does actually make sense because I heard that Kinzo always says that Beatrice was actually killed and she would need to be resurrected. I swear that Kinzo said that Beatrice had been killed for 30 years. I don't know. But at the same time, she has actually been saying that, you know, well, she's been constantly in a really, really quite, you know, intense state, just trying to decide whether she has actually killed Beatrice or not, or... Well, she led Beatrice to the place that she'd actually died in. I wonder where it was, though. Jesus Christ, what happened? Fucking hell. Yeah, calm down. Yeah, nobody's blaming you for anything, right? Yeah, first drink some water. Okay. Natsuki-san, the picture, please. Yes. Here you go, Rosa-san. Please calm yourself. Right, what the fuck is she going to say? Until Rosa was able to calm her ragged breathing, no one was able to... Oh yeah, understandable. Yeah, because the thing is, like, now their sister is a murderer? I just don't know any... This just contradicts so many things. I'm just so surprised that we've read the entirety of Chapter 2 and yet we've not heard about this once. It really just makes no sense. Oh, you bastard. Cliffhanger moment. Right there. Right, so, what's actually going to happen next, I wonder? Who are we going to be in the viewpoints of? Because I don't really see anybody that it could be apart from the family. I really hope it's the family because I want to fucking learn about this. Right, who is it? Oh, no. Were they delaying it as much as possible? Oh, I mean, I do want to learn more about Beatrice's story, but at the same time, this is just the thing I really want to learn about most. Oh, interesting.
Beatrice.
Oh, that was definitely not somebody I was expecting. Okay, that is really quite surprising. Oh, I love this theme. It's so beautiful, this. I know it's not really the correct usage of the word, but it really, really sounds ambient. Oh my god, I really wonder what Noza's actually done and what connotation she has with Beatrice. I just find it really quite interesting that this just totally contradicts what we've actually learnt in, you know... Well, it was just interesting that this really proves why she had such a refusal to actually prove that, you know, she, when having seen the Golden Witch for the first time, i.e., like, in episode 2, when she actually magicked Maria's candy and replaced it for her. That definitely proves why she has such a denial to having met the witch, because she just believes that that one time was a dream and she's just dreaming again. She can't possibly be seeing what's in reality. Yeah, so I'll just take a break, but yeah, I'll come back in a sec. Alright, I'm back now. I am mentally okay. I just had the thought I should maybe turn my music down a little bit. Okay, there we are. That's probably fine now. Right, Beatrice. I've been calling for you, to you for some time now. Did you not hear me? Now, that's actually really quite interesting. So whatever this scene is going to be, yeah, it's a past scene with Kinzo and Beatrice. Yeah, her voice sounds a lot lighter. Were you? My apologies. Jesus God. How much younger does she sound? Holy fuck! My apologies, I was lost in thought. Forgive me. The weather is pleasant. Yes, I can understand how the weather has stolen your heart. By the way, Beatrice doesn't seem very happy at all. Oh yeah, of course he has black tea. We have your black tea here. Who am I? I'll bring some tea now. Wait here for a while. God damn. Forget about the tea.
わらわの話に付き合う
Yeah, talk mate. Yeah, I'm actually really quite surprising. I mean, I'm really quite surprised that, you know, Kinzo is making all the wrong choices. He has a lover and they're asking, you know, they seem to be really quite down. They're having depressive questions, really. Why don't you answer them? I mean, wouldn't that be, like, the common thing to do? Very well.
よかろう。
Kinzo uses the excuse of getting black tea to try and interrupt the conversation for the time being. But his attempt had been very transparent. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, it makes him seem so heartless. I mean, yeah, of course. I sat in a garden chair and beckoned Kinzo to do the same. Kinzo sat down heavily, exaggerating his age. Oh yeah, for a while. We sat and appreciated the silence. Oh, that is interesting, yeah, because nothing can be disturbed by the silence.
わらわは何者なのか
Who am I?
この問いに今日まで答えてくれた者はおらぬ
Until today, nobody has ever answered this question.
なぜか皆目をそらしはぐらかす
For some reason, everyone averts their gaze and evades me.
そなたとは長い仲だ
I've known you for a long time.
わらわはそなたを無二の友であり
I think
そ
of you
し
as my
て
best...
父ですらあると思っておる
God damn, so she's actually really quite truthfully saying this as well. That's a really quite interesting thing. I think of you as my best friend, even as a father.
だからどうか教えてほしい
That is why I want so much for you to tell me.
そなたは知っているはずだ
You should know
わらわが何者であるかを
who I am. God, I really wonder what he's actually going to say. I mean, I just genuinely don't know. It's really quite surprising to think that somebody like Beatrice would be having thoughts that, you know, really aren't... She isn't confident at all. They're not, well, her confidence here is definitely different to how we've seen her. It's really quite
なぜ
surprising.
にそのようなことが気になるのか。
Why are you worried about something like that?
そなたはベアトリーチェ。
Yeah, you are Beatrice.
この屋敷の主ではないか。
The master of this mansion, is that not so?
それ以上の何を知りたいというのか。
Yeah, what more could you want to know? Yeah, I really do wonder, because obviously Kinzo, he's kind of, I don't know, just asking the questions in the points of the reader, really, like, you know, just completely clueless. That is interesting, the fact that everyone averts their gaze and evades Beatrice, though. I wonder, is it because people don't want to talk to her because something she's done? I have no idea.
わからぬ
Don't know. Interesting. God.
なん
I wonder what's actually happened. What's this?
何が知りたいのか自分でもわからぬというのか。
Don't you even understand what it is you want to know?
それは不可解な。
How mysterious.
若き日には出口なき思考の迷路にて遊びたくなることもある。
Yeah, I see this. In one's youth, there are times where one wants to play in the maze of thought that has no exit.
そなたの悩みもそれであろう。
Perhaps that's what your worries are. Kinzo laughed as though it was a trivial matter. Oh yeah, that's a bad thing to do. Yeah, however, I couldn't help but feel that this behaviour was another attempt to force me to stop any further questioning.
やはりそなたもそれを語ってはくれぬのか
Oh, that is interesting. So you won't tell me after all.
語ることなど何もない。
There is nothing to tell.
そなたはベアトリーチェだ。
You are Beatrice.
それで十分ではないか。
Isn't that more than enough?
いや違う
No, that's not it.
わらわが知りたいのは名前ではない
What I wish to know is not my
わら
name.
わが
I want to know
何者なのか
who I am.
わらわは誰で何で
Who am I? What am I?
いつからここにいて
Oh,
そ
that's
していつまでここで
interesting.
日々を過ごせばよいのか
How long have I been here and how long will I have to continue my days here? I mean, my god, you can just tell from, you know, how different her voice actually sounds here compared to, you know, the Beatrice that we know. I mean, god, it can really just show that she's really, well, she's preparing for a big journey here. I mean, my god.
やはり紅茶を持ってこよう。
No, you should talk to your lover about their concerns. I really should bring some black
せ
tea.
っかくの陽気がもったいないとは思わ
And to be fair,
ない
that is a fair point. Don't you think it would be a waste of all this fine weather? Oh, that's actually a really quite sudden
これ
ending.
は何の話だ？
Oh, yeah. So that's interesting. What's this all
どうや
about?
らお前の昔話のようだが。
I'm surprised that Battle is actually being shown this. It looks like it's probably the story of your past, right?
そのようだな。
Something like that.
まさかここまで遡るとは。
God, yeah, this must be years back. I really wonder how many years it is. God, that's awful though. So I'm assuming that Beatrice has been in Kinzo's place for so long that, you know, she's firstly losing sight of herself and who she actually is, and yeah, how long she'll actually need to continue her days there. I mean, yeah, Kinzo definitely doesn't sound like the best person to talk to. He just brushes everything off as if it's just something that could be rationally explained, really, and easily explained.
自分は誰なのか。
Yeah. Looks like you had some pretty deep worries even then,
えらく高尚な悩みをお持ちのようじゃねえか。
wondering who you were.
無理もないわ。
That is to be expected.
当時のわらわは自分が何者なのか、
Oh, damn. At the time, I was unable to understand who I was.
何のために生きているのかを理解できなかっ
Oh. I really wonder how long she's actually been living at this point.
ま、誰でも思春期になると、
When puberty.
自分の生きる意味とは何ぞや、みたいな哲学的な悩みに一度はとらわれるもの
Ah,
さ。
yeah, fair enough. I think she's past that point, but okay. Well, in puberty, everyone's captured by those philosophical worries at least once, wondering what meaning there is in their life.
お前にもそんな微笑ましい時期があっただけという話だろ。
Doesn't this just prove that you had a charming period like that at one point?
た。わらわは生まれた時からその屋敷
Oh
に
yeah, of course. Yeah, that actually really quite surprises me that Kinzo was able to revisit this place. I've been in that mansion since the time of my
そ
birth.
して屋敷の中だけで生きた。
Oh my god, and I lived only inside the mansion.
もちろん庭には出られたが、敷地はとても高い柵で囲まれてい
Jesus,
る。
that's awful.
それを出ることはできず。
God, so it looks like whoever Beatrice was in the past, she had a very privileged upbringing. But at the same time, it was not privileged in the fact that, you know, she could never leave where she actually was. I mean, this is just a prison in its own right, a solitary prison, really. I was trying hard not to say confinement, because that's a completely different thing, but it's kind of similar. Yeah, it is sad, I mean, yeah. Oh, interesting. I wonder who by. And I was told severely that I mustn't leave.
わらわはな、屋敷と庭は自由に歩けたが、
I could walk freely through the mansion and the garden.
その外へは自らの意志ではたった
Jesus Christ.
出ることさえ叶わなかった。
God, that's awful. I mean, I'm assuming that just from this, Beatrice has actually had boredom as a real factor that has just totally inhibited her childhood, really, I suppose. I could walk freely throughout that mansion and the garden, but outside of that, not once was my desire to take just one step outside of my own accord granted.
そりゃどういう意味だよ。
What do you mean by that?
物心ついた時からずっとカゴの鳥だったって言いたいのか？
Yeah, I really wonder. Are you trying to say that as far back as you can remember, you were always a bird in a cage?
そういうものだと思っていた。
Yeah, that's fair enough, actually. That's actually really quite interesting that she's thinking, you know, as a result of her being unable to leave this place, she is a bird in the cage. She has no freedom whatsoever. That's what I thought at the
何
time.
しろ気づいた時からそういう生活だったからな。
After all, as soon as I became aware, I was living like that.
疑問にも思わなかった。
Yeah, I didn't even think to question it.
お前一体何者なんだ？
Yeah, who in the world are you?
それよ。
That's it.
それこそわらわもまた望んだものだ。
That is also what I hope to know.
どうせ 人間ではなくて魔女でしたって言いやがるんだろ。
Yeah, I'm sure you said something like I wasn't a human, I was a witch, right?
いや違
No, that's not true.
うまだ違う
Oh, that isn't true yet. That's actually really quite contradictory though. Why does she know Kinzo in a state that Kinzo looks really, really quite old in and obviously acts old in if she isn't a witch yet?
いやかつて
What?
そうだったと言うべきか
Or should I say that was once the case?
わらわは金蔵によって作られた人間によって作られた人間だ
I was constructed by Kinzo, a human built by a
い
human.
や肉でできた檻
Now perhaps I should call it a cage made of flesh. Good way to address your past lover.
なんだよそりゃ。
What the hell?
妙な話を言い出し
Oh
や
my
が
god,
って。
I know, I agree. I agree. I just genuinely don't understand how she was a witch. And that would actually explain the fact that she actually knows Kinzo. And obviously, if Beatrice knew Kinzo at that time, but wasn't a witch, then the gold? Like, what about her? Shit.
「どうせそなたは信じぬだろうがな」
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, because of the fact that he's totally trying to deny the fact that, you know, magic was a influence of the culprit. But I do find it really quite interesting that, you know, yeah, it was once the case. It's really weird that. You probably won't believe it anyway.
まずは聞け
But listen first.
わらわは千年を経た偉大なる魔女である
Oh, I was a mighty witch who would live for 1,000 years.
しかしある時金蔵によって呼び出され
But at one point I was summoned by Kinzo.
その秘術にて永遠の虜となる
What?
と縛られたのだ
And by that hidden art, I was bound as his prisoner for eternity. God.
そりゃ初耳だぜ。
Yeah, definitely. Never heard that
後
before.
ろ宮家で知られてる話では、お前はじい様に呼び出されて、
From what we hear in the Ushidomiya family, you were summoned by
悪魔
grandfather.
の契約みたいなのを結んで、黄金を授けたってことになってるぜ。
Made something like a devil's contract with him and gave him the gold. Yeah, but the fact that... Yeah, I really do wonder what Kinzo had actually... What his intentions and his motives and his, you know, desires were for having Beatrice basically locked up like a bird in a cage and, you know, his prisoner for all eternity? I just genuinely don't understand how that's actually possible, though.
それは
correct.
正しいそしてわらわは黄金を授け契約の終わる時まで姿を消すはずだった
Then I was supposed to vanish until the contract was complete.
しかしまあモテる女の辛いとこよな
But, well, popular women have it rough.
金蔵はこともあろうかわらわに恋をした
By some turn of events, Kinzo fell in love with me. Interesting that he isn't that she isn't actually saying that she fell in love with Kinzo
じ
as
い様
well.
も金眼が進んでたんだろうよ。
Maybe that's just a nitpick, but still. Maybe it could be indicative of the fact that the love is one-sided. I don't know though. Grandfather's nearsightedness must have gotten pretty
ついで
bad.
に乱視だな。
With astigmatism as well.
よりによってお前に惚れるとはな。
Yeah, I see that actually, yeah. That's actually really quite interesting, so I wonder why... Well, because of the fact that they could have potentially been in love, she didn't vanish.
まあわらわにとっては迷惑この上ない
Oh,
が
that is interesting. Yeah, it was definitely one-sided then. Well, to me, there could be nothing more bothersome.
しかし人間の力とは恐ろしいものでな
However, the power of humans is a frightening
あ
thing.
れは恐ろしい力を発揮して
Oh my
わら
god.
わをこの地へ釘付けにしたのだ。
He displayed that fearsome power and rooted me to this
わら
place.
わが首を縦に振らぬ限り解放せぬと言ってな。
He said I wouldn't be freed until I nodded my head in agreement.
なんとも強引な男よ。
Yeah, understandable actually. I mean, in agreement to the love? Or what?
すげえじゃねえかよ。
Isn't that awesome?
じい様がオカルトかぶれなのは誰もが知るところだが、
Everyone knew grandfather was obsessed with the
大
occult.
魔女ベアトリーチェ様を釘付けにする
Oh
ほど
my
の
god,
力
it's
があ
really
ったとは
surprising
な。
actually, yeah. Just considering the amount of ridiculous things Beatrice can actually do. And yet, Kinzo actually has the power as a mere human being with this love to actually hold Beatrice down. It's really surprising.
バカバカしい。
Ridiculous.
そんなおかしな話信じると思うか。
Oh, who believes such a weird story?
やはり信じぬか。
Yeah, it is just really quite surprising that, all of the real irrationalities in the story definitely don't make it add up. I see what Basile's saying.
俺が信じる
You
の
don't
は
believe.
お前が森の中の秘密屋敷
Yeah, I
に
suppose that
隠
is
居していた
objective.
って事実だけだ。
All I believe is the fact that you lived in this hidden mansion in the middle of the forest. In the middle of the forest too. God, that's even
お
worse.
前こそが六軒島の19人目なんだろう。
You were the 19th person on Rokkenjima, right? Oh, I really wonder how Losa ties into this. That is, if she does. Indeed.
そなたの想像通り、ここは六軒島の森。
Oh! What? Just as you imagine, this is deep within the forest of Rokkenjima. What the fuck?
外界からは見つけることも叶わぬ隠し屋敷。
What? A hidden mansion not to be found from the outside
そ
world.
の名もクワドリア。
His name is Kuwadorian. 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 9 birds were shot.
そういやゲストハウスの正しい名はトライアンだって聞いたな。
Because I think of it, I heard the guest house real name was Tolayan. Visitor's Retreat.
なるほど。ネーミングセンスは違
Oh,
うな
that. Oh my god, I see the naming sense is
そ
similar.
してお前はそこに隠居していたじい様の愛人。
You have got to be fucking serious. So you were grandfather's mistress who lived here in secret.
そうだな。
Isn't that right?
愛人というのは正しくない。
Mistress? Yeah, more like prisoner isn't the right way to say it.
金蔵の片思いであったと言うべきだろう。
Yeah, fair actually. Yeah, you should probably call it Kinzo's unrequited love. Yeah, because obviously she wouldn't return it.
先ほども話したであろう。
I spoke a bit just now, correct?
あれが勝手にわらわに
Yeah,
惚れ
yeah, definitely. Beatrice didn't actually. That's awful with Beatrice, though. The fact that she's just somehow been summoned by Kinzo, and then they've met, and that it was initially meant to be a devil's contract that they'd actually do, and then she'd fuck off. But love happened. Oh god, that's so surprising, though. It's just really quite odd, though, because Beatrice initially, when she was a kid, had Beatrice, her trainer, teach her magic. But at the same time she was here, it just really doesn't make that much sense. Why was she in Rokkenjima to begin with? Is there that much of a coincidence? Like, I don't believe there could be that much coincidence that would actually summon her to her childhood mansion. It just makes no sense. So I really wonder what the ties with this has with the first part of the story. It just doesn't make much sense at all. That's so surprising though, genuinely. And because of the fact that she's a witch, well, obviously a witch who's losing sight of herself, she will be able to look after and maintain herself. And that would explain why grandfather had just suddenly ended up in places that the servants were in before, i.e. teleportation.
そしてわらわに求愛したが、それをわらわは拒む。
Oh shit, what did... Oh god. What does courted mean? Oh, dated. Right, it's just posh way of saying dated. Right, yeah.
そして
Jesus
わらわをこ
Christ.
の隠し屋敷へ閉じ込めたのだ。
They're all shut up in this hidden mansion.
いや、屋敷に閉じ込めたというのは正しくないか。
No, it's not quite right.
この体に閉じ込めたというべきか。
It would be more correct to say that I was shut up in this body.
最後が何を言ってるのかわかんねえぜ。
Yeah, I've got no idea what you said at the
ど
end
うせ
there.
そなたはバカにして聞かぬであろう。
You would just make fun of it and refuse to listen, right?
何しろ 魔女も魔法も信じぬ
Yeah, understandable actually. Yeah, after all, you say you don't believe in witches or magic.
語れど聞く耳を持たぬというならば
If you have no ears to hear what
そ
I
れを
tell
口
you,
にするは愚の骨頂だ
understandable, it would actually be really quite pointless, but at the same time, I think it's a good thing to hear, even if you don't believe in magic, so that you could potentially base your theories on more knowledge, if the time may arise. I don't know. What's Battler actually going to say, I wonder? I really hope he does.
信じるかどうかは
Yeah, that's really good, yeah. Yeah, this is the part I want to know, though. That's awful, the fact that, you know, totally unrequited love and... Yeah. I'll decide whether I believe
聞
or
かな
not.
きゃ話も進まねえしな
It won't, to be fair. Yeah. After all, if I don't ask, the story won't continue.
話せよ
Tell me.
お前の昔話を
Let's hear the story from your past. Very well.
金蔵はわらわに求愛を拒まれたがそれ式でへこたれる
Oh,
男では
God. I refused Kinzo when he courted me, but he was not a man to lose heart at something like
ど
that.
うあってもわらわの首を縦に振らせたかっ
Oh, Jesus. He wanted me to make me nod my head in agreement no matter
た
what.
わらわをこの屋敷へ閉じ込め
Jesus
わらわを口説き落
Christ.
とそうと永遠の時間を費やしたのだ
He shut me up in this mansion and spent an eternity trying to win my heart.
強引なやつだな
God, I know I couldn't agree more, even though she didn't want to. God, talk about overbearing. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
嫌われるだろ
Yeah. People that just, you know, even, they just don't even have the feelings of consideration for the women that they're actually loving. Like, they just care whether, I don't know, they can have the satisfaction of having a relationship, rather than if love actually happens. It just doesn't make sense. Guess nobody likes obstinate men, huh?
求愛に応えるかどうかは別にして
Regardless of whether I responded to his courting or not.
男をそこまで必死にさせるのはまあ
Oh,
女として
God.
そう不愉快ではない
Right. Regardless of whether I responded to his courting or not. Yeah, having a man so desperate for me was, well, as a woman. It wasn't someone, but oh my
しかし
god.
わらわは決して首を縦には振らなかっ
Yeah, however, I never accepted his proposal.
たなんとかその戒めから逃れようとしたが
I tried to find some way to break through his guard.
あれの結界は強固で破
Jesus
れない
Christ, that's really surprising. But that barrier was firm and I couldn't crack it. How?
それで
It just really surprises me that Kinzo has enough magical power to make it so that, you know, Beatrice has a prison and a barrier in this mansion that, you know, she's never able to break out of, really. It's just so odd.
さまざまな抵抗を試みた結果
After trying to resist in various
心
ways.
臓の結界から逃れるには肉の体を捨てるほかないとい
Oh,
う
that's
結論に
interesting. That makes sense now. Yeah. But at the same time, how does that tie in with Fedosa? After trying to resist in various ways, I eventually reached the conclusion that to escape from Ginzo's barrier, I would have to throw away this body of
体
flesh.
というものは
That is interesting.
魔法を語る上でとても制約の多い器なのだ
The physical body is a vessel with many restrictions for a magic user. God, that's really surprising.
肉の体を捨てる
Throw away your body of
なん
flesh.
だよそれ
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah,
幽
fair
体
enough,
離脱
actually,
み
yeah.
たいなものか
Something like an out-of-body experience. It is weird.
ま
I
あ
really
そんな
wonder.
ものと考えればよい
Well, if you want to think of it that way.
しかしわらわは精霊ではない
Yeah, definitely. However, I am no
魔
spirit.
女ではあってももともとは肉の体で生まれ落ちた人間だ
How did she turn from a witch to well, the trainer? That's the only answer I can think of. Even though I am a witch, in the beginning I was born with a human's body of
そ
flesh.
のわ
Yeah,
らわに
definitely.
とって肉体を捨てるということは
So for me, throwing away that physical body.
死を意味するほどではないにしてもそれに準ずる覚悟が
Oh, that is
必要だ
interesting. Yeah, understandable, because the second you actually throw your physical body away, you are unable to ever access it again, I suppose. So for me, throwing away that physical body, while it didn't mean the same thing as death, it did require a similar level of result. Yeah, fair.
それはつまり
It's such a commitment that you are never going to be able to take back as well. So in other
自
words,
殺することでしか解放されないと決意した。
so in other words, you decided that you couldn't be released except by suicide, is that it? Yeah, I suppose so. But at the same time, it wasn't suicide because obviously, well, I think the person you're talking to at the moment proves that.
あくまでも肉の体を捨てるだけのことだ。 もちろん魂だけになるのは心もとない。
Of course, becoming nothing more than a soul was a precarious situation. It must be really
魂は
inconvenient.
肉の体を出れば太陽の強い風に絶えずさらされてしまう。
When the soul leaves its body of flesh, it is constantly exposed to the strong winds of the sun.
それによって吹き散らされないように自ら維持するのはわらわとて容易なことではない。
It was not easy for me to maintain myself and avoid being scattered by them.
できることなら避けたい最後の手段だ。
Oh yeah, understandable. Yeah, but at the same time, that just highlights the desperation of it. My god. It was the final measure that I'd wanted to avoid if I
し
could.
かし金蔵の結界から逃れるにはそれしかなかったのだ。
However, there was no other way to break through Keensor's barrier.
何しろわらわは
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
自由人。
However, anyway, I'm an unfettered person.
金蔵の生が果てるまでカゴにて飼われるのはごめんというもの。
Yeah, understandable. I mean, the boredom is just in immeasurable amounts, really. I couldn't stand being kept in a cage until Keensor's life was over. I couldn't see the stuff Bertor kept going on about throwing her away her body of flesh. I know it's actually really quite odd. I mean, as anything more than suicide. Yeah, that is interesting. Grandfather persistently courted her and tried to escape from that. Yeah. She chose... Yeah, to escape from that, she chose her own death. I mean, I suppose she kinda did. I mean, though it wasn't really...
自殺したってのか？何を言ってやがる。当のお前はそこでのんびりガーデンチェアに腰掛けてるじゃねえか。
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm assuming that this was before she had actually committed, well, suicide. I don't know, it's kind of debatable whether it is suicide. Though you are completely depleting yourself of a physical body of flesh, you're also making it so that your spirit will actually go up and you can use that spirit, and like Beatrice has done here, I'm assuming that... I don't know, it's just really quite weird that, you know, the winds of the sun out of everything are what can potentially scatter the soul. I mean, it is weird. So I'm assuming this is just kind of metaphorically saying that there were so many mental challenges by actually doing it and obviously maintaining her core self, really. And not being blown away by any other, I don't know, mental challenges, like for example, boredom. That's right.
それこそが金蔵によって与えられた
This is the new cage I was given by
新たな檻だった
Kinzo.
のだ。
What?
檻？
Cage?
この屋敷のことか。
You mean this mansion?
違う。
No.
そこのガーデンチェアにてくつろぐわらわの体のことだ。
I mean my body relaxing in the garden chair over there.
金蔵は魂となって抜け出そうとしたわらわを
Even though I was so desperate to escape that I became naught but a soul.
それでもなお逃すつもりはなかった。
What kind of fucking creepiness is this? Kinzo still had no intention of letting me go.
いやいや恐ろしいやつ。
God, oh, he was a fearsome person.
普通は 片思いの女が死んでみせれば100年の恋が冷めるであろうに。
I mean, he is absurd. To be that stubborn and that just deluded in general, it's absurd though. So you literally see the person you love has basically killed themselves. And yet you still don't realise that they don't love you. I mean, that's absurd. Oh, he was a fearsome person. Normally, when the object of one's unrequited love shows that she is willing to die, it should be enough to bring to the person to their senses, even if their love has lasted 100 years. Understandable, yeah.
魔術師の端くれなのか。
Perhaps that's why even he managed to become a sorcerer of sorts.
さっぱりわからねえ魔女っ子トークで煙に巻くな。
I love that. Don't try to confuse me with that incomprehensible witch girl talk. I love that. Yeah, what exactly are you trying to say? What the
金
fuck?
蔵は
This is
魂と
weird.
なったわらわすらも逃さなかったということだ。
That Kinzo didn't let me escape even after I became so. Yeah, that is weird.
人間の思いというやつは恐ろしい。
I know, human emotions are
これ
terrifying.
ほどまでの魔力を発揮するとは。
To think that he would be able to exhibit such power, it just shows us proper
死
will.
者の魂をつなぎ止めるなど
Tying down a dead soul.
それを専門に弓道する魔術師でも
Oh,
お
that
い
is
それと
interesting.
至れぬ境地よ。
Tie down a dead soul is not something that can be accomplished easily, not even for a magician who specializes in such matters. So he must have been really fucking powerful if he can actually be able to do this.
金蔵の恐るべき魔力
Yeah, fair.
その時初めて驚愕
God, and it probably just struck her the fact that she is truly stuck. I mean, firstly, the fact that Kinzo had just basically made it so that, you know, his love had made it so that Beatrice was a total prisoner to this place, and that the contract probably wasn't going to be able to be fulfilled until the end of his life, really, and they'd be forced to spend each other there, and then she'd vanish, obviously. But it's just absurd to think that, you know, it's also about the soul-related stuff. I mean, that is so weird. I really do wonder how powerful Kinzo is in terms of magic, though, genuinely.
金蔵はわらわの魂を捕ま
Then Kinzo seized my soul and brought me back.
えだが魂を捉えておく檻は鉄でも鉛でも作れない
Oh, shit. A case to hold a seized soul cannot be made from iron or
た
lead.
だ一つを除い
Only one thing remained.
なんだよ。
What?
魔法の檻だとでも言い出すのかよ。
You aren't going to say it was a magical cage or something, are you?
違う
Wrong.
わらわやそなたのようなこの肉の体だ
Is that body of flesh over there, just like yours or mine?
肉と血でできた檻だけが魂をこの世につなぎ止める
Only a cage made of flesh and blood can tie a soul down to this world.
金蔵はわらわの魂を
Oh.
わらわと
What?
瓜二つに作り上げた肉の檻に再び閉じ込めたのだ
Kinzo shut my soul up in a cage of flesh built to be exactly like me. How did he do that, though? You can't just... I mean, I don't think Kinzo is a scientist. He can't just genetically engineer a human. And if anything, even if he was a scientist, like, that level of gene therapy to be able to make a baby that will grow to look exactly identical to Beatrice, that's not going to be... That probably isn't even possible now. Never mind in that time, 1986. Well, before 1986, but still. Maybe like 1970, 60, something like that. So to sum it up, it's like
じい
this.
様がしつこく求愛するんで
Yeah!
嫌になり自殺したが
Yeah, God, it is true. Yeah, grandfather obstinately courted you. You started to hate it, and you committed
うま
suicide.
く死にきれなかったってことだろ
But you weren't clever enough to finish the job. I do find it really quite interesting that the way Battler actually interprets these stories that are fully and truthfully recounted from the witch, you know, in just a completely human way, refuses to believe magic.
くどい言い方しやがってからに
God, damn, you really took a roundabout way to say something like that.
いいや違う
No, that's wrong.
わらわはホムンクルスの種子に魂を閉じ込められ
My soul was shut up in the seed of a homunculus.
試験管の中より生まれ入れたのだ
Yeah, that is weird. So is she technically a test tube baby? Oh my god, no way. That is just so fucking creepy though. So basically, Beatrice has killed herself. And then she has just been a soul. And then her soul has been added back to the body that is, what is an exact replica though. That's so weird. It just doesn't really make sense how that's possible. Magic defies reason, I suppose. Of what's actually possible or not. That is so weird. What is a homunculus?
Huh?
A small human being? An artificially made dwarf, supposedly produced in a flask by, what the fuck? By an alchemist? This is weird. Huh? Yeah, I know, I agree, but that's crazy. Yeah, definitely, that isn't even possible. Yeah, don't ask Battler to prove that. Oh my god. That is so weird. But at the same time, I don't think that's very true, because he hasn't achieved the miracle of creating life without a soul to begin with. He's accomplished even the miracle of creating. That is unbelievable, though. I just genuinely wonder how he did that with a homunculus. But how do you grow that body to be exactly like, you know, the genome of Beatrice, really? Like, why isn't there even one difference? That's so weird, and simply to shut my soul up in that cage. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it is absurd. It really is, and it just definitely shows that you're never getting out of it. That he would show such magical power simply because of his own love. Oh yeah, that is interesting because of the fact that, you know, his magical power and his willpower as well, they will never end. Yeah, a thoroughly terrifying person. Oh, it's already gotten pretty ridiculous. Say whatever you want. Oh yeah, of course he wouldn't. I won't believe anything. To be fair, though, it does look like something that's really quite accurate. Human beings don't just, like, no matter how magically powerful they are, I don't really think it's likely for them to, you know, create a being that exactly looks like Beatrice from nothing. I don't know if I believe this much at all. I see what he means. It just sounds too unreal to be true. Yeah, I see that. Wasn't this unpleasant attitude? Yeah, there really isn't that much, actually. I really do wonder what could actually have, you know, by the way, Loza, what does this have to do with her? In the beginning, I showed a little interest, thinking that there might be some huge hint hidden here. Agreed, actually, yeah, but the more I ask, the weirder the story starts to get. I get the feeling that even though this is a story... No, sorry, this is supposed to be a game about denying witches. Oh, I'm suddenly being forced just to swallow this story about witches. And that wouldn't be good, because if you base a story about a witch on denying the witch... The fact that you've used the story about witches and evidence to deny against witches. Yeah, that's not very good. Sorry, but I don't feel like listening to this anymore. God, he is so cold! Just keep rambling onto yourself as much as you want. I'll be over there picking up my earwax or something! This is something you say to a girl. I've got to screw. That is a quote right there. I feel quite bad for Beatrice. I mean, when I started acting cold, Beatrice seemed, yeah, definitely unusually discouraged. Of course, her expression was still shameless, but in that really easy to understand expression of hers. Oh, I had the feeling I was able to catch a glimpse of loneliness at my failure to find the story of her past interesting. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that in her expression. But the only thing is, Battler doesn't really trust the validity of this story whatsoever. Firstly, because he doesn't believe in witches, and secondly, you know, just because of how weird it gets. I mean, it's just really quite odd, though, about the whole Kinzo literally making a body so that Beatrice can inhabit and, you know, can completely have an inability to escape. It's just so weird. Yeah, that's actually really quite interesting. So I think it's just kind of one of those cases where you just show something that's really quite significant in your past life, and you just show somebody thinking that they'll be interested and you can start a conversation with it, but you don't actually receive it, and you know, they're not interested, and then you feel lonely as a result of that. It's kind of like when you have problems, you try to tell them to somebody, but they don't give a shit and they deny them. I suppose it's similar to that. For some reason, that subtle reaction made her seem pitiful. Yeah, I see that, actually. It's just really quite surprising somebody so evil would also be... Well, I mean, obviously, of course you would be lonely. If you're as evil as Beatrice is and you have no problem with killing the amount of people that you have, then, you know, there's got to be something up. So even though I kept my careless attitude, I decided to cover for her slightly. Damn it, even though she's an irritating witch... Oh, yep. That is quite potential. I love that. Oh my god, damn it. Even though she's still an irritating witch, I'm still weak against her because her chromosomes are X. I love that. Yeah, so just to sort of make Beatrice a little bit more happy and, you know, decrease her feelings of loneliness. Say, ask for a little bit more of the story. Well, I've got absolutely no desire to believe you, but keep going. Oh yeah, fair. Let's have a bit of story instead of a tea snack. Yeah, so you treat the story of my past like little more than a snack. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, do you expect me just to casually tell you when you insult me like that? I'm just genuinely surprised that Beatrice is actually, you know, really quite forming an opposition here. I mean, God, after I made fun of her, Berto, yeah, reacted a little sensitively. It looks like, even though making fun of people was her speciality, she was horrible at being made fun of by others. Ah, I see that, actually. Yeah, it's just really quite surprising. You would have thought that she'd be alright at a taste of her own medicine, but no. I'm just really quite surprised that this is a side of Beatrice that's actually present. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you can't make fun of sensitive memories or moments with people, especially if it's as bad as Beatrice. I mean, I don't even want to imagine how much pain this has caused her. So, yeah, it's logical, I mean. Yeah. Just then, my black teacup suddenly made a sound, surprising me. Oh! Yeah, my lady's soul was seized and breathed into a cage of new life. That's understandable, the fact that she doesn't even know who the hell she is. In other words, my lady received life as a human once more. Before I realised it, the demon butler had taken my cup and was adding more black tea to it. Ronove. Enough of that. Yeah, this person just said it was too ridiculous to be worth listening to. Well, it's too ridiculous to be worth talking to. Baking some new cookies right now. Lucky. Oh my god, even him! I mean, okay, I normally get none of his humour because it is actually joking in, you know, appropriate situations, but I don't really think this is appropriate for him. It really isn't. I mean, Battler, I can see it, but him? Seriously? Until they're ready, I thought you might find the story of Milady's past to be a perfect substitute for a snack. Oh, God.
もうわらわの話は良いというのに。
Yeah, didn't I say that's enough about talking about me?
揃って不愉快な奴らだ。
Such unpleasant people, the lot of you.
わらわは席を外すぞ。
Damn, I'm leaving.
ロノウェ。給仕を済ませたらとっとと下がるのだぞ。
God, all of it, serve our food and then
バト
go.
ラと無駄話などするでないぞ。
No pointless chit-chat with Battler.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
努力いたします。
I'll make an effort. God damn. That really was quite a surprising turn of events. I mean, God, it's really quite awful to think that... It's just sad. It really, really is to think that Beatrice has just been restrained for all this time. I really do wonder how Beatrice actually became so evil and how she, you know, literally saw killing people as a game. It's just genuinely surprising to think that, you know, that has probably been the beginning of such immense amounts of awful events with her. And I mean, judging by, you know, the amount of sensitivity Beatrice actually had, it really, really just shows that, I suppose, she's really sensitive, so it shows that if people make light of the memories that actually caused, probably, I wouldn't be surprised if you could say, without exaggerating, the ruination of her life, then, you know, I mean, to be fair, she'd already been living for 1,000 years beforehand, but still, like, yeah, it's not something to be made fun of, I see that. I mean, but to be fair, Battler, why should she not be made fun of by him? She's literally killed all of Battler's family members twice. And she's obviously tried to convert him into something that is less than human. So I think what Battler's done just now, it really, really outweighs what Beatrice has done to him. Bertol's short-tempered, peculiar to women, which I don't really, which I didn't really understand. Oh yeah, I see that. Took hold of her, and she turned her body into gold butterflies, scattered and then disappeared. Damn. Oh God, she didn't even drink her black tea, or did she? Oh no, she only turned her body, not the black tea as well. I don't know. After that, only Laurent Aubert and the scent of black tea were left. Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, I feel kind of bad, like I pissed her off or something. Yeah, understandable, yeah. Yeah, as long as you're aware of it yourself, I need say nothing more. Wait a sec. No, I know though, weren't you the one who struck the finishing blow? I like this guy. Ma, what do you mean by that? Would you like some sugar and milk? Just milk will be fine. Get some cookies with that, that'll probably taste really good. I've never tried black tea and cookies, but I can imagine with none of their quality cookies, they go in any tea flavour. Yo, let's go. Even though it is a bit longer, still doesn't mean, it's still not saying that they won't be ready soon. Well, it'll be a bit longer before the cookies are ready. Didn't you say we've already got something to use in place of a snack? By the way, I really do wonder what the full story of Beatrice's past was, because I really do wonder if some of it actually relates to Loza. Maybe it could be that the corpse was actually somehow found by her. I don't know though. Just doesn't make sense. I wish we got more on this, to be honest. Because now it just seems really random to include that. Well, I suppose it's effective in showing Beatrice's depth of personality, really. I wonder what it has to do with Udoza, though. Certainly.
ご清聴をいただけるのでしたら
Oh,
続きをお
good,
話
good,
しいた
good.
します
If you will listen quietly, I will continue this story. Yeah, against Beatrice as well, obviously. Hmm.
ホムンクルスがなんとかって言ったな。
Yeah, she said something about a homunculus.
一応は知ってるぜ。
I know a bit about that.
あれだろ
It's that thing, right?
錬金術高で作り出せ。人造人間のことだ
Yeah,
ろ
yeah, yeah. A manufactured human created with alchemy or something.
はい
Yes.
お嬢様の魂はホムンクルスに閉じ込められ再び赤子となって生を受け
What?
この世
Okay.
に蘇ったのです
Okay, that is really weird. My lady soul was shut up in a homunculus and she was revived into this world. Oh my god. Receiving life again as a
し
baby.
かし赤子でございますから
However, because she was a baby...
金蔵様が愛を語ろうともそれは
Oh
無駄
my
なことでございま
god,
す
yeah. Any professions of love on Kinzo's part would have been quite useless. That's really surprising though. That is absurd to think. So that's actually really quite interesting. So this homunculus body that Kinzo has actually made for Beatrice, she's literally relived her, well, not really her entire life, obviously, because she probably retains stuff from beforehand. Well, of course she does. This entire story is proof of that. But the fact that she actually had to relive her entire life, I mean, that is so weird. And what I find even weirder is that, you know, when we saw Beatrice as a kid in this mansion, she never had any knowledge of magic. So I really do wonder if some of her memories were obviously retained, but others weren't. It just doesn't really make much sense. And Beatrice's teacher as well. What is her connotation with everything? Oh my god, definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. God, that's absurd. Yeah, and I mean, I can really see why Beatrice was so sensitive about this story now. What a fucking creep. So, somebody doesn't love you, so they try to literally kill themselves, and then they, you know, are left from the body, and then their soul goes into the body. But then they have to relive their entire life against their will again. You aren't saying?
その赤ん坊をこの隠し屋敷に
Yeah, that's definitely the case. The grandfather shut that baby up in this hidden mansion.
同じ年に成長するまで閉じ込めたってのか
Yeah, it's absurd until it grew to reach the same age as she'd been.
はい
That's
その
absurd.
まさかでございます
That is
し
what
か
I'm saying.
し魂は同じといえど人間の魂はその器に強く影響を受けます
However, oh yeah, yeah, fair enough, yeah. However, while her soul was the same, a human spirit is strongly influenced by its container. So that's actually really quite interesting with Beatrice. She had a different look from before this. Oh yeah, definitely. So, wait, so she actually retained her
お
soul?
嬢様は
Surprising.
かつての記憶を全て失われ
Okay,
ご
that
く
is
普通の
weird.
人間の少女として成長されました
That is weird. Oh god, so the level of creepiness is just unreal. So when Beatrice actually grows up to be of a mature age, well, not until retirement, if it doesn't want to be classified as anything but creepy, then, yeah, Kinzo can have love with somebody who doesn't know how to refuse yet. And they have new memories, I suppose.
そこのガーデンチェアに座ってるベアートだってのか
Yeah, and you're saying that's the Beato sitting in the garden chair?
はい
Yes,
その通りでございます
that is correct.
まさに瓜二つに成長なされました
Alright, agree to be completely identical.
しかし
Oh.
魔女としての力は持ち合わせておりません
Oh, that is interesting. However, it did not possess her power as a witch.
あくまでも
Jesus Christ.
人間としてのお嬢様なんです
So how did she become anything but human? Milady was completely human. That is so weird. I don't understand how she's become an endless witch if she's lost every single memory of the past. That's so contradictory though, it doesn't make any sense. Berto, who was sitting in the garden chair, looking up at the sky, voiced that same question again. Oh my god, understandable that she wouldn't actually know, because it's just been totally reset from herself. Her physical memory has literally been, wiped from her. That's so horrible. She asked who she was. The meaning of those words was then finally, oh yes, definitely, yeah, finally starting to click. She couldn't understand why she was living it. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, my god, this must have been, her upbringing must have been the most awful thing to ever exist. Who the fuck is going to look after you? Where are your parents? Where are the people to look after you and give you resources and fun and entertainment and anything outside this? And it's just horrible. She's been imprisoned here for the entirety of her life. Yeah! Inexplicable boredom. Grandfather receives Beatrice's soul, shut it up in a body of flesh, and then shut that up in a hidden... I know. However, since she had lived here since the time of her birth, she couldn't understand who she was. Yeah, definitely, yeah, or why she lived shut up in there. Yeah, why? So how did she actually learn the memories? Wait. Yeah, understandable actually. Who would take such a stupid story seriously? Why don't I change my interpretation? In other words, couldn't it be something like this? Grandfather met Beatrice. He then fell in love with her and courted her, but she didn't accept him. Then he flew into a rage and shut her up in this hidden mansion. Yeah, Beatrice tried to escape, but no matter what she did, she couldn't succeed. Yeah, because obviously the magic is providing the metaphor of... Well, the magic is providing the fact that, Beatrice was quite literally trapped and couldn't actually escape whatsoever, and, the gates were the restraints, really. She was bound by spiritual stuff to not escape, really, but who told us that she couldn't escape? Maybe she tried to escape, but she couldn't succeed. That's fair. Yeah, so she finally chose her own death. And then, no. Maybe there was a girl who just looked like Beatrice. No, a baby. Could be fair enough. That could actually be fair enough. But why is it identical then? Doesn't make any sense. Grandfather raised this child with care. Yeah. But maybe he didn't... No, can't be. What is the connection with Rosa? That is the biggest question. Because nobody is ever telling me, because of the fact that none of us said that they were identical, that Rosa was the baby. No way. So it's actually really quite interesting. Every single time that he had actually gone off to see somebody, it was to see her. That's so surprising. But maybe he didn't view this child as his daughter. Yeah, the soul was once again shut up in a cage of flesh. Those words probably meant that he didn't view this kid as her child, but as her reincarnation. Maybe that's what it meant. That is interesting, yeah. Suppose so. If you interpret it that way, even a story this weird might make a little sense. No. This might be some bullshit Berto cooked up to confuse me. To be honest, I think the genuine nature of her reaction, it could either show that somebody is very, very good at playing guilt, or it could show other things as well. As if I could accept any of this. In the first place, Kuadorian, was it? Yeah, the birdcage, I swear. 9th birdcage? There was no proof whatsoever that a hidden mansion actually existed. Oh no, it's the mansion, not a cage. Couldn't this be something she just fabricated on the spot? There isn't actually any evidence, to be fair, I see that. It's as if he can literally read his mind. Well, that makes life easier. A hidden mansion named Kuadorian does exist in the forest of Rokkenjima. Where does the gold exist? Because I was always assuming that the mansion or the hidden location that would house the mistress. Mistress? I don't really... Well, I think if you call a baby and a kid that's growing up Kinzo's mistress, then, you know, he's a pedo on many levels. And there's no police as well, which is even worse. But, okay. That's not the case, though. He wanted to raise this reincarnation, I suppose. A hidden mansion called Kuwadorian does exist in the forest of Rokinjima. Yeah, that is weird, though. So, I'm assuming the gold is actually housed in a different location. This is the place we were just talking about. Huh? Oh my god, I know, yeah. Red? Yeah, it's totally unprepared. That's funny. Ronove used the red to say that Kuwadorian actually existed. Yeah. Did that mean the same thing as the red Berto used? Yes, definitely. I may not look it, but I am a demon. Oh, it's not actually something he's meant to use. Oh, yeah, interesting. Please keep this a secret from the lady, yes? Sure. Berto, who knew I would try to trip her up, had grown extremely cautious when using... Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, Donove doesn't whatsoever because it wasn't expected. That's genius. To think that Donove could also use the red. However, it was the red of a crafty man. Yeah, the one that... I don't know how far I could accept it. It is the objective truth, but at the same time it is crafty. Though it is objective, maybe it could be somehow twisted. But anyway, I might be able to get some kind of hint out of it. Yeah, you can get stuff out of him. Haven't said it in red. Yes. Not in red. It is the truth. In the past. Oh, okay, good. In the past, the pair actually had a conversation like that in this place. Like that. Not entirely similar to that. Could that be indicative of something being twisted? When you say this place, that's vague. Is it talking about the mansion, or is it talking about Rokinjima as a whole, or is it talking about some sort of place that we don't actually know about? This place could be referring to anything. I could call my house this place. He could call wherever the fuck this is this place. This place could actually be where they are right now. It doesn't have to be referring entirely to this one. I know I'm probably twisting this quite a lot, but this is realistically how we could potentially twist it. Thanks a lot. I've asked for some more red. Oh yeah, good one. Yeah, get the magic stuff out of the way. You said she was born from a homunculus. Oh my god, I know. But does that kind of unscientific magical thing actually exist? Oh, that is interesting. I'm unable to answer that question. I thought doing so would cause a stalemate. Stalemate? One wins and the other wins, or maybe the other one loses and the other one loses, or basically just the game ends. Nobody's won or lost. It's a chess term referring to a state in which, similar to a perpetual check. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Any further progress in a game becomes impossible. Oh, that is interesting, yeah, because if he actually proves that she was born from a homunculus, then that could potentially prove that, you know, magic was actually used. Then it would inhibit any further progress in the game because Battler wouldn't know how to disprove it, let's be honest. This would be the opposite of an endless repetition of moves. Fair. Oh, because yeah, all moves would disappear and it would bring about a new kind of deadlock. In chess, this would lead to a draw, just as a perpetual check would. However, there can be no draws in the game between you and my lady.
ですので、ステイルメイトになる質問に
That's
は
understandable, actually.
赤で
Therefore,
お
I'm
答えする
unable
こ
to
とが
bring
で
a
き
question,
ないのです
answer a question that would bring about a stalemate.
"よくわからねえこと言って煙に巻いてるが."
Like that. You obviously want to confuse me by saying incomprehensible stuff.
つまりホモンクルスなんて魔法的存在が実在するって赤で言えないからごまかしてるだけなんだろ?
You obviously want to confuse me by saying incomprehensible jargon, not stuff, jargon. Like incomprehensible stuff. But simply put, you're trying to dodge the question because you can't use the red to say that something magical like a homunculus exists, right? I wonder.
仮に私が赤で魔女は
Oh
実
yeah, I
在す
really
る
do
と言っ
wonder.
たら
If I were to say in
マ
red,
ザーさんはどういたしますか?
if I were to say in red that a witch exists, what will you do? You do, Batora-sama.
それを信じるか信じないかで俺たちは大喧嘩してるんじゃねえかよ.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose it would end the game. I don't know. If he says that in red, then he's a definitive winner because it's in red and Battler can't possibly disprove it. But at the same time, he can try and get twisted logic to disprove the statement in red. Whether or not I believe this is what our whole fight's about, right?
それを言われちまったら身も蓋もないぜ.
If I was told that point blank...
ゲームオーバーだ.
Yeah, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because obviously, no matter how much you try to disprove the red, it's in red. Yeah, it'd be game over.
魔女は存在すると
Yeah, fair.
赤で
Yeah.
申し上げたなら
If I said a witch
バトラ
exists
様には
in
反
red,
論の余地があります
yeah, you'd have no room for argument.
しかしバトラ様はその理由が示されない以上それを受け入れないでしょう
However, since the reason would have never been made clear to you, Batora-sama, you probably wouldn't
し
accept
か
it.
し赤で語られる以上
True, yeah.
反論の余地もなく証拠も
You could just
示さ
say that, yeah, I see what you're saying. You could basically say that statement without any reason whatsoever, but because of the fact that it's in red, there's no arguing it's definitive and you can't really counteract it at all. Yeah.
この場合
You wouldn't need proof. Fair. In this situation,
敗北を認められないにもかかわらず反論の手がなく手詰まりとなってしまいます
yeah, definitely, yeah. It would be for him, it would be a total victory for Donove. In this situation, even though you wouldn't be able to admit defeat, you would have no way to make a counter-argument, and it would become a deadlocked geometry dash moment. Say witches exist in red, fair. Were the murders done with magic, though? A witch may exist, that doesn't mean they've used magic to actually do the murders. You could still have a lot more to argue.
チェックメイトされていないにも
And closed rooms as well. Just because they're a witch doesn't mean they're going to be able to do all of this. Even though checkmate would have not been reached, there would be no existing moves left. Yeah. Really? I don't
バ
agree.
トラ様が次の一手を打てない以上お嬢様に手番が回ってくることはなく
Since you would not be able to play your next hand, it would never become the lady's
ゲーム
turn.
はそこで永遠に止まってしまう
Yeah, fair, and the game would stop there for all eternity.
その結果お嬢様があなたを屈服させることもできない
Oh, that is interesting. As a result, my lady would be unable to force you to
これが
submit.
手詰まりの状態です
So this is, in theory, the situation that is actually practical. That's interesting. That would be a deadlock situation.
それを回避するため
In order to avoid that...
このような形になるご質問には 赤でお答え
Yeah,
することが
understandable, because
でき
obviously if they have a deadlock situation, that means that, well, I suppose it means that well, if they have a deadlock situation, then Battler is, well, he's never going to be able to actually play a move because of the thing he's been suggesting, whether, you know, this story is valid or not, has just been proven.
早い話が身も蓋もない質問は禁止だとそう言いたいわけだな。
To say it quickly, you're saying that point-blank questions are prohibited.
まあそりゃそうだよな。
Well, that's true, I guess.
赤で魔女は実在するって言われちまったら
Oh yeah, understandable, yeah.
俺は花からお手上げだぜ。
I'd have to give up from the start.
ご理解いただけて助かります。
Yeah, I'm pleased that you understand.
他の形の質問でしたらご協力できるかと思いますよ。
That is interesting. Because he could show the red for more obscure things. I don't know though. I'm pleased that you understand. I believe we might be able to work together if you ask your questions in a different form.
奴がはぐらかした復唱要求には答えられるか。
Ooh, that is interesting. Oh yeah, can you help me with that line Beatrice dodged when I told her to repeat it?
この島の人数だ。
About the number of people on this island.
お嬢様が保留されている復唱要求にももちろん
Oh
答えら
shit,
れます。
yeah, obviously he can't. Yeah, fair. If Milady held back on repeating it, then of course I cannot
お
respond.
嬢様の家具でございますので出過ぎた真似はできかねます。
As Milady's furniture, I am unable to be too forward. One of them made an exaggerated gesture, trying to act like a loyal retainer. This guy's so shallow. Oh my god, I know, it's really quite funny that whenever he plays by the rules, it's always to inconvenience Battler. I mean, obviously, at the same time, giving your opponent this much insight and intel, it's not really the best thing, but at the same time, it will make him more informed, so... Yeah, it's definitely going to bring around their downfall, potentially. It's going to increase the chance for it. Maybe it won't do it entirely, but it will increase the chance for it. Yeah, I see that. It's ironic that he's trying to be loyal, and yet there are so many times where he's just refused to show his loyalty. Like when he literally pissed his master off.
一瞬でも使えるやつと思ったのによ。
I know, I see that. Just when I thought you might actually be useful. Battler, use this opportunity. Ask for hints.
諦めて他の質問を探すか。
Damn, surprising. I'll give up on that and search for a different
そう
question.
だ。
That's right.
大事なことを確認するのを忘れてた。
I was forgetting to check something important.
これはベアとの思い出話なんだろ。
This is a story about Beatos memories,
いつ
right?
の話なんだ。
When did it happen?
まさか現在ってことはないだろ。
Could it be happening now, could it? Yeah, this is an interesting question.
はい。
Correct.
ここは1967年の世界。
Jesus Christ, that is so recent! It's the world of 1967.
19年前の世界。
Fucking hell, so she suffered 20 years of boredom. Nearly. Let's try rearranging this story again. I wonder if it couldn't be something like this. Grandfather fell in unrequited love with a person called Beatrice. Then he confined her in this hidden mansion and continued to court her. But she was stubborn and didn't give in. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Eventually, she grew pessimistic about being able to escape from here. Yeah, definitely. And probably committed suicide. But at the same time, why is it evident of the... How are you talking to this person then, if that's the case? And then... Her soul was put in a homunculus. No, if I accept that... Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's the same as accept. I agree. Yeah, you can't. You can't whatsoever. I can interpret that part like this. She probably had a posthumous daughter. Yeah, that's identical entirely. Sure. I don't agree. Grandfather must have believed that her soul had been placed in a new physical body. Oh, that is interesting. I might have thought that the child was the reincarnation of Beatrice. Yeah, that would actually explain why he probably has been looking after her a bit. But at the same time, it just doesn't really make much sense. If that was Beatrice's daughter, then why is that Beatrice that... I mean, that Beatrice is the one that we objectively know here. Why does she think of herself as an endless witch? And secondly, how? And thirdly, how does she know her magical knowledge? Why isn't she just some nobody, really? That means at least 19 years ago, Beatrice existed on this island as the 19th person. Yeah, ironic that coincidence. It is quite weird.
混乱してきたぜ。
Starting to get confused.
いずれにせよ、憶測の域を出ない。確実に赤で言えることは、1967年の六軒島の隠し屋敷。
Yeah, understandable actually.
人間としてのベアトリーチェが存在した。
Right, I'm just gonna see, can I finish this now? Because I've really got to go to bed. Now we've still got a lot. We've got a lot of stuff left. Right. Yeah, I'll end. Oh, that was really quite fun. That was very interesting, all of this, and yeah, that was really quite odd to see the story about Beatrice's past, and it's going to be really quite interesting to firstly analyse, like, you know, how we're to somehow assign all, you know, human motives to something that just seems so impossible. It's also going to be really quite cool just to see how, you know, everything progresses in terms of... Oh shit, my webcam is so bad. Yeah, how everything progresses in terms of, you know, just this mystery in general, and how, I really want to know Rosa's ties with this. What are they, genuinely? That is, if she has any ties in general. We don't know, because like Batala, maybe we've just been led astray. That could have been potentially a really big clue, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's just what we thought. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. And, oh my god, I think the beginning of this, though, that was really quite interesting, the logic battle. I love the logic battles. I think I'm really going to find them fun. I mean, they're so interesting. You debate so much in them. They're really cool, and they're really well done as well. They let you contemplate so much, and yeah, it's just really, really interesting seeing that uncharacteristically weird stuff about Rosa. And, yeah, it was really quite cool, just everything today, and I really like Ronove. I'm beginning to like his character more and more, honestly, and I'm very interested to learn about Beatrice's past. I really wonder how the Beatrice beforehand and how the Beatrice with Kinzo actually differ. And I just wonder a lot about Beatrice in general, and how the hell her trainer, how and who her trainer was. I kind of get the impression that the reason she actually regained talent for magic that she had before, and, you know, her talent for magic was actually remembered, was because of the trainer. I mean, it's got to be the case. And yeah, it is interesting now that we think about the grandfather, because that was Kinzo. Yeah, the same grandfather you're going to be falling in love with. It's fucking creepy. Yeah, and I mean, it's just really quite ironic to see, you know, in the beginning of this chapter, Kinzo's complete misogyny, and then, you know, how he uses women, like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, going to be very interesting to play stuff tomorrow, so, yeah, I'll see you there. I really like the fact that I'm leaving in the middle of scenes, because that just gives me no excuse not to play tomorrow. Because, like, if I don't play tomorrow, then I miss out on seeing the full, events of the scene. Oh, I can't wait till Friday. I'm going to have no exams. No, sorry, like the end of Friday, I'm going to have an exam tomorrow, but I can't wait to play on Friday. No exams, no time to worry about, no actual time to worry about stuff, and yeah, I'll be able to play for so much longer, because it's just really annoying when I'm really getting into stuff, my sessions are getting really interrupted. But yeah, see you guys, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, see you tomorrow.